Villa happy to move on from him.
Yeah.
And the same with Chelsea. Are they in a place where actually they're just comfortable to move on from Enzo?
He wasn't at his best last season, Emre Martinez.
Or at the World Cup.
At the World Cup wasn't at his best. 33 now. But I still think, Sam, that the £8.5 million, keepers play to an older age, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, have we sold ourselves a bit short with the fee?
33.
No, I don't think he is. He's not at his prime, but I still think we could have got a bit more money for him.
A very good evening to you. This is The Final Word. I'm Natalie Sawyer, in for Mad, alongside, of course, the legendary Premier League manager that is Alan Pardew. And what an afternoon of football we have just witnessed. We're going to kick off at Old Trafford, where Manchester United came from behind to thrash Ipswich 5-2. Bruno Fernandes, of course, the captain, with an absolute masterclass as well, grabbing himself a stunning hat-trick to blow Ipswich away. We also had a 7-goal thriller at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea held off the Brighton comeback as they won that one 4-3. The superstars up front of Neto, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Morgan Rogers, all firing on all cylinders. But that Chelsea defence, well, that still looks completely wide open. We'd love to know what you make of that. Elsewhere across today's action, Sunderland bagged a huge 1-0 win over Fulham. Leeds and Brentford battle it out at Ellen Road for a hard-fought 1-1 draw. We want to hear your views on today's drama as well, because this show is all about you. We want to hear from you and get your thoughts on what you have witnessed over the course of today and over the course of the weekend as well. Manchester United fans, we want to hear from you how happy you are from that performance from your team at Old Trafford, considering you weren't particularly happy after that defeat to Hull. Obviously, no surprise in that one. You can give us a call, 03717 223344. That's the number you can also WhatsApp us on. You can send us a text message to 81089. Join us, have the final words here on talkSPORT. Alan, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Nat, and it's lovely to see you here. The Saws and Pards show.
I was going to say, we've had a lovely message in. I was saying it's usually Madge and Pards, but today it is Saws and Pards. I'm not sure it's one that's going to catch on.
No, perhaps not.
I think Madge and Pards works brilliantly.
Better, yeah, probably.
I just want to check you liking my top that I've chosen
for those,
you.
Yeah, that is a very nice gesture. I like that.
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
those who are not watching on TV will know that she has a CSK Sofia, my old team.
Yes.
That I was technical director of and briefly manager for a couple of games. But great club.
Yes, exactly.
And your club, your old club.
Well, it's my family club in Bulgaria.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yes, it just kind of all aligns for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So I thought I'd wear that for you today.
Lovely.
It's one of those that, do you know what? I've had it in my drawer for a while, and we've done a few shows together. And every time I've gone away thinking, I forgot to wear that top. So I remembered today.
And when you walked in, I thought you got a red shirt. I said, where's Brentford? Where was that? It must be their new away kit. Remember, I said to you, is that why you got a red shirt on? I didn't see the badge.
There you go.
Now I do.
There you go. So we're up and running. It's been another fantastic weekend of Premier League action. And as I mentioned, we're going to start with what happened at Old Trafford. And I mentioned, obviously, Alan, what happened last weekend in that defeat at Hull.
Yeah,
Manchester United.
Well,
yeah. This was a very different performance in the end, although they did go behind against Ipswich. And you at that moment, you're probably thinking, here we go again.
Yeah,
they came back strongly.
Yeah, I think when you've had your first game, when you look new Premier League start, you go into Hull, you expect to win, you come away, it's disappointing, and you get beat. I can't imagine that you're going to go to Old Trafford and you're going to be buzzing from the start. They looked a little bit nervy, a little bit kind of shaken by that result, and understandably, and it took them a while to get going. But once they got going, they were brilliant. And Fernandes as well. That's why he's player of the season last year. Incredible kind of skill level that he showed throughout the game. And the highlight, I don't know, for me, were the 2 moments he didn't score. The shot from the halfway line, which was brilliant. And
Which the
pass,
cameras nearly missed.
Yeah, and the pass for Mua's goal was terrific. Yeah.
It was one of those games as well. At one stage, it looked like every time they were going forward, they were going to score, Manchester United.
Yeah. And the referee had that 5-minute spell, didn't he, with the handball, which did look like handball to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know
This is the Harry Maguire goal.
Yeah, they're sort of calling it accidental. Not so sure about that. Could easily have been overturned. The referee didn't overturn it, and then he had the penalty decision. And is it a red card? And he give a yellow card and penalty, blah blah. So he had a scary 5 minutes. The referee, but other than that, I thought they were comfortable winners today. They always look like, when you've been to Old Trafford as many times as I have, you kind of know, even though a team takes the lead, that they're not really in control of proceedings, which they weren't. And United, and it's good. It'd be interesting to see what United fans think, because the subs who come on, the squad looks so much stronger. They got legs in midfield where they struggled last year with Casemiro, sort of not there. Is he there? Not there. That kind of sort of midfield they had going on, but a lot better today. So we'll see what they say.
And with that regard, we touched on that whole defeat and how that can always have an impact on you going into your second game.
Yeah.
But from that performance to come back like they did against Ipswich, could you now look at this Manchester United team and think they could be certainly top 4 contenders once more, if not better? Could they be a title challenger?
Not so sure about that. I mean, when you're looking at the way the sort of league programme is, we've only seen Arsenal in one game. I was actually at that game, the commentary game. They play tomorrow night. They look like magnificent. They look magnificent against Coventry. I'm sure when you look at them, I look at Chelsea today. Could be tight now, but you'd suspect that they'll make Champions League position with a goalie they've signed. I think he's a major acquisition. And the rest is all a little out for grabs, I think. Liverpool, Man United, you could always say at this stage, 2 games in, don't really know what we've got yet. The transfer window's still open.
Yeah.
Which is evident. There's a movement today. Ollie Watkins has gone for another big fee. I've got a lovely sheet about some stats about the transfers, which I can't wait to get to. That'll be later. In fact, I might throw it in a little bit earlier because we might get a few calls about it. Tease it in there.
Okay.
But the interesting games at the weekend. The Newcastle victory at Spurs, and obviously that's been a big thing on talkSPORT as well. Fulham getting beat again, I think, is another talking point. So all those fans across the weekend, give us a call.
Yeah, this is exactly what we want on this show. You to get involved, you to let us know how you're thinking and how you're feeling about your team. Manchester United fans, the lines are open for you right now. Obviously, like we were saying, when you went a goal behind, like you did, Leif Davis getting that goal for Ipswich at Old Trafford, were you at one stage thinking, oh no, here we go. But actually, what a comeback it turned out to be.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting.
Control of that game.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have a few Ipswich fans as well going home. I wonder how they felt about it, because there was a little period in that first half, and they had that chance at the back post for maybe 2-0. It was debatable where he was offside, which would have changed the game. And then Ciccio in the first half again was terrific.
He does look like
what a find he looks, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wow. They must be dead chuffed with him. So, they're in a decent place.
Gary O'Neill worked with him at Strasbourg.
Yeah, of course.
Brighton fans would know a little bit about him as well with his time there.
Yeah.
Julio and Ciso certainly seem to make an impact in this Ipswich
team. But, the players grow, they go abroad and you think, oh, they're fouled in the Premier League. But we've had 2 or 3 players who've not done so well previously in the Premier League, bounce straight back and look different players where they've grown with their confidence and their kind of feeling about themselves, and he's definitely one of them.
So Manchester United fans, the question really is, what do you now expect from your team? I know it's still early, and there is European football now that you've got to look forward to, which does add an extra element into it, which is why there's a lot of positive talk about Chelsea this season under Xavi Alonso, in the sense that they don't have any European competition to add to their schedule. So there's time for Xavi Alonso to work week in, week out with his team. But we'd like to know, Manchester United fans, how you're feeling, how optimistic you are then after that 5-star performance against Ipswich this afternoon. Dave, the Manchester United fan, has called us up this evening. How you doing, Dave?
Hi guys, you okay?
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
I'm all right, but I'm happy with the 3 points, but I don't know. United, they're not the team they were in the past, and I don't think if we'd have played City and Arsenal today, do you really think we'd have done that today?
Yeah, well, that's you know when you go up the levels, you never quite know where you are until you face the big guns. But I think when I look at Man United, Cunha again playing that number 9 role, that really isn't.
I don't like it.
I don't think that's going to be something that they lean on for a long time.
We want a centre forward up there. Sesko, we bought Sesko for that role. We need him for that role. We need another striker coming in. Now, I've been watching all season this lad from Freiburg, this Matanovic, is absolutely outstanding. He's tall, he's powerful, and United say, well, we're not going to pay the money for a big striker. Well, this lad's valuable for about 35 million euros. So get yourself, if you're listening, United, go for this lad from Freiburg, because if you can't get anybody else in, go for him, because Mateta's got injured again. That's what we were looking for. We're desperate for a left back. We just, I don't know with United at the moment. We've got this new midfield and that. It was terrible first half. Second half we were all right. We played a lot better. But Matthias Cunha, that's not his place up front. We need a target man. We've always had a target man. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Andy Cole, Eric Cantona. We've always had a target man. Manchester United have thrived on 4 world-class strikers. We've got one. We've got one Sesko. We need to get more strike force in there, and we need to get a decent left back in, because I thought Luke Shaw was vulnerable first half. I thought the lad on the right-hand side hammered him. We need to get somebody in there. I don't think the Balde deal's going to happen. The lad from Brighton, I like the lad from Brighton. Is it Cogaloo? Is it? But you can like as much as you like. If you haven't got the money to dip in there, I mean, we're talking about 50 million at the moment, aren't we, for just a reasonable reserve team player? I mean, when you look at some of and Xerxes, it'd be interesting to see if he goes before Tuesday, which I think he will. So I think there is a replacement due at Man United. I just don't understand where they can go in terms of financially, how much room they've got.
Someone that might be able to shed light on that, of course, is Ben Jacobs. He'll be joining us a little bit later on in the show.
Well, I'll question him a little bit, Ben.
See, I'm sure he's going to be
deep his knowledge is.
Going to test him. I can see him out there. He's already on his phone. Yeah. He is busy working, as you can imagine, with that transfer window closing on Tuesday. So it is going to be a busy few days, no doubt, for him and everyone involved here at talkSPORT. We will ask those questions for him. Dave, thank you very much for your call. If you want to have your say, Manchester United fans, on that performance, are you in agreement as well with what Dave had to say about
Dave,
issues
you could definitely tell with Dave there, right, that, and I think this is always a bit of an issue since Fergie left. That he's talking about the past, about the strikers they've had in the past.
4 strikers, yeah.
And how brilliant. But the game's changed, and now it's wide players who has to contribute with goals, right? And you have one striker, and that striker not necessarily gets involved as much in the game as a Van Nistelrooy might have done in the past, or a Cantona, for example. We look at Haaland at Man City, hardly involved in any build-up play. It's just about the finishing product. Harry Kane's a little bit different about Munich. He does get involved in the build-up and switches play, etc., etc. But I think it's interesting to know where they're going to go, Man United, if they get a striker. I'll go for another striker.
Yeah, okay. Lots of questions to ask to Ben Jacobs, and it's going to be a busy few days, no doubt, here on talkSPORT with that window closing on Tuesday, like I say. But if you want to get in touch and have your say on the final word, this is what you have to do. Just give us a call, 03 717 22 3344. That is also the WhatsApp number that you can call, message us on, I should say, or you can text us as well to 81089. Join us, have your say on the final word on talkSPORT.
Gabby.
Jamie, what you on about,
On the
mate?
Villa.
You're just jealous, mate. I've been
Jamie,
hearing you all
What are
day.
you on about?
You're talking guff, mate. Just because you're
What are
jealous.
you on about?
You're jealous.
How can you finish 17 2 years in a row and spend half a bill?
Because we've got the cash, Gabs.
Yeah, but that ain't fair, mate.
See? Jealous.
It ain't fair, Cundy.
No, I agree. Do you know what? I agree with Gabby on this. I totally agree with him.
Villa finish in the
This
top
has got
four,
no, not
win
I'm,
the Europa
no,
League,
I'm not picking.
and we can't flipping spend.
I'm not picking sides. I'm telling you now. Villa and Newcastle should be able to spend. No,
Cry me a river.
No, 100.
Cry me a river.
Jay, listen.
Thank you, Cundy.
I totally agree with him.
Gabs,
Totally agree with him.
stop crying, mate.
Jamie.
Stop crying,
Totally
mate.
agree with him.
Stop crying.
Jamie,
Gabs.
you're signing rejects from Manchester City.
Good
Marmoush
players,
is
mate.
unwanted. Savino's a reject. Robertson's a reject
Hold
from
on.
Liverpool, not
Hold on.
wanted anymore.
Hold on.
Conor Gallagher's a reject from Atletico Madrid. Spurs are signing rejects.
This is too heavy.
Hold on a minute. You sold 5 of your best players. All right, you're absolute
'Cause of
guff
the
this
rules.
season. Oh, the
'Cause of the
rules.
rules.
Oh, the rules. I thought you was a big
The
club.
rules.
I thought you was a big club.
Well, we are a big club, but
You're
the
not,
rules
though.
don't let us.
You're not, though.
Because you
Can't
and
spend any
your
money.
cartel, top six, you and Cundy, don't want Villa in
Don't
there.
bring me into this. I want nothing to do with this, Gabby.
Mate, keep you out of it. Only big boys allowed in the top 6, mate. You're not big. You have to sell your best players. We
How
don't
can
have
you
to sell our best
finish
players.
17th, right, and go and spend £500 million.
Because we're a big club, Gabs. Stop whinging.
Manchester United 0, Ipswich 1, Leif Davis with a famous goal, and it's a hat-trick for the captain. Manchester United 3, Ipswich 4, Bruno Fernandes has got 3 of them. And Bumo, the goalkeeper's off his line, he chips it over the goalkeeper, and it's in! Manchester United have the 5th. And Manchester United may have done it the hard way, but they are off and running for this new Premier League season. A 5-star show. In the end, it finished United 5, Ipswich 2.
Yeah, going a goal behind, Manchester United did fight back to win 5-2 at Old Trafford in the late kickoff this Sunday, and it means they have recovered from that 2-0 defeat at Hull on the opening weekend of this new Premier League season. So Manchester United fans, we want to hear from you. Let's ask the Ipswich fans to get involved as well, because what about you? What about your ambitions too? Have you seen anything in that performance, despite the fact you conceded 5, that maybe shows a bit of spirit, like Pards was just saying just a moment ago? That signing of Julio and Ciso, what a signing he could turn out to be for you. Let us know what you make of that as well. But let's get to the Manchester United callers, because there are plenty of you ringing us this evening. Mike, who was at the game, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, good game. I mean, the first half we didn't quite get going, but second half performance was terrific considering the stage of the season. And I think I was looking for positives and maybe the negatives of the game. The positives, I thought Mainu and Tillemans were excellent. And considering they haven't played much together, that looks good going forward. Negatives, well, the 2 goals we conceded were really soft. So we've got to tighten up on that. But certainly in the second half, it could have been far more than 5 goals. If it had been 6 or 7, it wouldn't have been an injustice. So, yeah, it's an early season. There's a long way to go. Anything could happen. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that we're going on the right path.
Yeah, Mike, here's a question for you. Tillemans, I thought was terrific for Villa. I think he's going to be a great signing for you. So it's nice for you to highlight him.
Well.
Yeah, excellent. Well, the left back looks a bit of an issue to me. Where are you? Shaw struggled
I've
it.
been on him for the last couple of seasons, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he never gets really close to whoever's attacking that wing. and gives the guy far too much room to make a cross. So it's a weakness, and there's rumours that we were looking at all sorts of different players. So I hope we do sort that one out before Tuesday, because that is a weak area. But other than that, I think the squad is getting better. I mean, it's not something you can choose overnight. I mean, you look at Arsenal, probably taken them 7 years to get the squad that they've got now that's making them so good. But I mean, the transfer window's just gone mad, hasn't it? I mean, the free fees that are being paid. I mean, Rashford was going for 30 million, and no one seemed to take him up on that. Yeah, Delap goes for something like 50 million.
Correct.
And it has a big difference in the class of the two players. So, I mean, you can't have a person who played a bit part for Newcastle, goes to Nottingham Forest, and then suddenly becomes a £117 million player. It just, the whole thing is balmy, and it's going to come crashing down sooner or later.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when you have to cut your cloth, and although Man United probably going to gross more than 700 million this year, most of it, on Glazer's ownership debt, we might add in, but they can't go big. It might be a blessing in disguise. Look at the boy you signed at Brentford, Singari. They're out there. You just got to be shrewd and clever. And something Man United have not done particularly well.
Maybe something that we'll mention a little bit later on. And I know I'm not saying Manchester United should be looking at this particular player, but there was a non-league player who's just gone for 1.5 million.
Yeah.
So there are gems out there. I'm not saying this particular, for like, but you just have to seek them out. Got to do a bit of due diligence, do your homework.
Yeah, I think this is where Jim Ratcliffe's trying to sort of shape Man United. He knows the funds are not available, so trying to bolster the recruitment team, make sure they don't make any errors. I think the moves they made this window have been good. When you go back, and just talking about Arsenal, when you look at Arsenal's last 5 transfer windows, buying and selling's been excellent. At the top of the game. Manchester City have been excellent. It's hence why they're up there. Man United's 4 or 5 windows previous have not. Hence why we have this issue where they haven't really got the money to compete with Arsenal, etc., and are some way behind. But on today's showing, they got an opportunity, and hopefully, I do feel they need to get a left back in, and maybe another striker if Xerxes goes out the door before the window shuts on Tuesday evening.
That's right, Mike. Thank you very much for your call. Let's get to
Cheers,
Max. Max, how are you? What did you make of that?
Hello, you are guys. Just on my way back now from the game, I thought first half we wasn't great, to be fair. I think Luke Shaw got caught out too many times. But the main reason I'm ringing you is the caller just before the one you just had, talking about bringing in a striker and moaning. We've just put 5 goals past Ipswich, and he wants to sit there and moan and say, "Oh, we ain't got a striker." We have got a striker. He's 22. His second season in the league. He hasn't. We've got players. Cunha plays as a false 9 for Brazil, for God's sake. We've got players that can score goals. Granted, we always talk about Sir Alexis. That's done. We've got to move forward now. The game's changed. Yes, there is a few strikers out there, Haaland, Kane, but there's not many. So I like what Radcliffe's done. We're starting to build from the front. We started with the attack. We're now getting into the midfield. I agree. Defensively, we're not good enough. But I was at that game, and I thought in the second half, Kobe Mainoo was absolutely fantastic. I thought Tielemans was really good. And Bruno does what he does every time. So I'm sick and tired of hearing people moan when we've just put 5 past Ipswich. What are you moaning about?
Can I just quickly ask you, Max, about Marcus Rashford? How did he do?
Yeah. Look, I've always been a fan of Rashford. He's never, I know, you can tell he doesn't want to play. Well, he does want to play for the club, but I personally would have sold him. I watched him today. There was a lot more tracking back than I've seen him do in such a long time. So obviously Carrick has spoken to him. Do I think he'll be there next season? No. But he will get in that squad. He will score goals. And under Carrick knows him well. So I could see him scoring. He was okay today.
Yeah.
He wasn't great, but he did come back. He did track back, and that's not something that he's ever done for United. So you can see that there is a bit more of a
Well, let's go. I just want to touch on Rashford because I think one thing that might be sort of the penny dropping a little bit was the fact that he went to Barcelona, got a dream move really, and it hasn't quite worked out. And now he's back at United to try and rebuild. He needs to track back. He knows he needs to track back. Otherwise, his career is going to be Fulham or Crystal Palace or down the levels. So this is this massive season for him. I actually think he's going to do well this season. Sesko is the one. My jury's out on him. He is young. I think there's so much potential in him. You know, Michael talks highly about him, but then he is the manager, and he's not going to devalue the player.
No.
But you know, I do need to see a little bit more from him. You know, he didn't really get a moment today, but then there was that moment at the end where he's just got a very simple pass, and he completely overhits it. Now that ain't because he hasn't technically got the ability to do that pass. That's because the shirt may be a bit too heavy for him, and the stage. You know, he needs to kind of get his confidence with a United shirt on, and that would be called the difference. And let's hope he gets that.
Max, thank you very much for your call. The lines are open for any of you to get involved this evening.
But it's interesting a little bit that Max said about, you know, the caller before. You know, I like that because, you know, when you go to a game, there's always that bloke who sits near you and it irritates you because he's like got completely different opinion of you. You're sitting there listening thinking, why don't that bloke shut up?
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, there you
I
go.
do know what you mean. There'll be one that's slating a player and who you're thinking, actually, he's had a really good game.
He's done
Why are you
right,
saying it? I know. That's the beauty of football, though. It's all about opinions, and you are entitled to have yours. Join us on the final word here on talkSPORT.
The only ones that don't ever work.
Fine. There's another fine.
It's amazing.
Every time, please. There you go. Every time.
Hold on.
He's going in a WhatsApp group. We set one up. Every time these fines come into the play.
So good.
Right, we're having a night out in December. One lucky listener of the Sports Bar will be able to come on the night out and spend Cundy's cash.
Hold on. I can't believe I've just seen the Ange mask.
Fine.
Can't happen, mate. Can't happen, mate. It can't happen.
We will
the Chelsea's mentioned too. This is disgusting. Sandbags gear as well. Who done this? Who's right?
I've sat down with management.
No, you haven't.
I have.
There's no way management involved in this.
I sat down with management.
I tell you, right, late to the office.
Yeah.
Mate, you better bring lots of cash with you.
I'm never late when the red light comes on.
Oh, that's so. Yeah. It says in the office, not studio.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I decide when I turn up.
It's amazing. This is going to be so much.
How are you though, mate? You've got to watch
what, mate?
Super
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Mate, you're looking good.
Listen,
good side.
On the back of limo bikes. By the way, go and Google them. You want to get to A to B, limo bike.
Right. Add that to the list.
What do you mean?
Promotions.
No, it's fair enough.
Promotions that are not part of the sports bar.
You're making this up. You're like a dictator.
Add it to the list. I was at the British Masters yesterday. I had a great time.
Right, okay,
fantastic.
There you go. Good for you. Well done.
Sir Nick Faldo.
You asked
Legends.
me. I never asked you where you were.
I know.
But
so if you're going to promote stuff,
but
we can both do that.
When I ask you, you can tell me that. You're offering this info. No one cares. I don't care.
The Six Nations, where giants do battle and legends are made. Epic sports which demands an epic voiceover every time. And actually has an interesting story as well. It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. The other home nations were a bit jealous, wanted in on the action, and after England played Wales in 1882, they all decided to hold an annual festival of international rugby, or the Home International Championship, which kicked off a year after. Now, the first decade was dominated by England and Scotland until Wales finally won in 1893 and Ireland a year later. After years of dipping in and out of the championship, France was invited to join full-time in 1910. But because France isn't a home nation, they had to give it a rebrand and settle on the Five Nations. But France were actually kicked out of the tournament in 1931. They were accused of paying players when rugby was still strictly an amateur sport. They had to wait years to be let back in. But after World War II, the Five Nations resumed. Didn't always run smoothly though, like in 1973 when all 5 teams won 2 matches and lost 2 matches. Now, because they didn't do points difference at the time, they just decided that everyone was the champion. It's like trying to keep kids happy, you know, the whole, you're all winners. In the years following, other teams in Europe started to get better at rugby and actually got to a stage where they were regularly beating teams in the Five Nations. In 1997, Italy beat Scotland, France and Ireland home and away. So 2 years later, the Five Nations invited Italy in, creating the Six Nations as we know it. In recent years, there have been calls to expand the tournament further to other European teams. Georgia and Portugal have been prime candidates to join of late. It's also been suggested there could be 2 tiers with promotion and relegation to promote growth of the sport in Europe. But the existing nations are a bit reluctant. So for now, it looks like the Six Nations, or Six Nations, or Sei Nazioni, is here to stay.
Welcome back to the final word here on talkSPORT. I'm Natalie Sawyer in for Madge, and alongside, you know who, it's the legend that is Alan Pardew. We're going to continue to take your calls on the big one at Old Trafford because it's fair to say a lot of you want to have your say on what we have been watching. United fans, let us know your thoughts. How impressed were you with that comeback, especially in the second half? We're also standing by to bring you Michael Carrick's post-match press conference as soon as he steps up to the mic, so do stay tuned for that. Talking of reaction, loads of you getting in touch. I wanted to read this one from Archie, who is Archie Buckley. He says, aged 11. Yes, Archie, thank you.
Go on, Archie.
He says, United were brilliant today. We played really good with a great work ethic, giving energy into everything. The first half, we didn't quite click, but in the second, we were brilliant going forward and we were a completely different team. Good start to our first home game. That's from Archie.
I think Archie's a potential journalist.
There you go, Archie. There you go.
Be very... Study your English at school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know, by the way, which is the most popular A-level? My friend Claire Tomlinson was telling me about this today. In terms, I think the most that was taken up, or maybe results-wise, she was telling me. I can't remember where she got the... It might be from the Times.
Don't tell me it was PR.
No, maths.
Maths. Well, that's good. Well, you do need maths.
I know our producer, Georgia, like me, was like, maths? I mean, I'm terrible at maths.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, great. But I still thought English might be more people doing English than maths.
Yeah,
goes to show
reading books and, it's not
clever.
really where the young mind is. Quick mathematician stuff. Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah.
I'm see them doing that. Yeah.
I digress. I do apologise. You know, we're talking about the subject of Marcus Rashford.
Yes.
Ross has asked this question. Do you think Rashford would be better as the number 9 and Cunha going back out to the left wing?
I don't see Cunha left wing. The problem I think that United have with Cunha is he's Fernandes, number 10.
Gotcha.
Really.
So you think Cunha is the 10, but obviously Fernandes is the 10.
Could you play him? Which they did try to a little bit last year with Manu, Fernandes and Cunha through the middle. Anyway, let's digress. Rashford as a number 9. When he's played number 9 for United, it's not always gone well. But I think there are the odd game where he could play, and I think particularly away from home. Obviously, you know, when you're under as one of the bigger teams, and you haven't got so much of the ball. Although United, you know, mainly have most of the ball against most of the opposition, Rashford would be a great outlet because of his pace, of course, and the threat that he has on the opposition. As I say, I think he's going to have a big season, and the reason being that everything depends on his performance. I don't think he's going to go before the window closes, so he needs this first stint, this before the winter window, to be brilliant. And I genuinely think he will be.
Well, that's the positives that Manchester United fans
and Michael,
want
I think,
to hear.
you know, it's perfect for Michael because Michael can just go, look, you know, what have you done? You need to track back. You need to do your defensive work. You need to mark at set plays. Do all that other stuff, you know, when you're running down the wing left and then coming on the inside and getting your right foot shot on. Go on the outside, put a few more crosses in. Away you go. That's all he's got to say to him. There's your team talk.
Well, it's a clean slate, really. Is that the best way for him to look at it?
No, it isn't a clean slate because he's got history at Man United, and as the fans were saying...
But not with Michael Carrick.
No, but, well, he has a little bit. But the point I'm making is that for Rashford, the ball is very much in his court. I think all of the fans have all gone, okay, you come back, right? Now show us.
Yeah.
Right? And I think... as I said before, when he's, you know, people around him saying, oh, you'll get a move, you're this, you're that, you're brilliant. Well, he did get the move and it didn't happen. So this needs to work. And I think he's got the talent to do it. I really do.
Well, let's speak to some more Manchester United fans. Let's hear from Adam, who joins us now. Adam, thank you very much for being with us. So what do you make of Marcus Rashford? Are you excited to see what he could do perhaps this season?
Hi, yeah, thanks for having us on. Yeah, I am actually. I'm quite excited. He's got a point to prove, and he looked like he was trying to sort of put some of them demons to bed tonight. He was tracking back way more than I've ever seen him track back before, and he was unlucky not to get a goal. So if we can get the best version of Marcus Rashford at Man United this season, that's only good for Man United. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. And what do you think, Adam, of the team today? What was your kind of what did you
the takeaway from it?
Yeah, what was the main theme that you took from the game?
Well, I hope Thomas Tuchel was watching that so he could see what he missed in Kobbie Mainoo, because I thought Kobbie Mainoo gave an absolute masterclass through the middle of the park.
Yeah,
everything he did just oozed class. His first touch, his composure on the ball, knowing when to take a touch, when to pass it first time, was just excellent. But I still think from that performance, the only thing that's really standing out to me as a big sort of thorn in the side is the left back. I like Luke Shaw for what he has done previously. I know he's got injury problems, but he's lost that yard of pace now, and he should be the backup left back, not the first choice left back, in my view.
Yeah, one of the problems you have as a fullback, when I had fullbacks who got to kind of senior years, was in their younger years when they were level with the winger, they were quick enough to recover. So if the winger tricked them or anything, they were always like sharp in the mind. They would recover quickly and get a block in or stop the. I mean, now when you get Luke Shaw level, you've done him. And that was shown today. And that's always a sign that just on them moments, they don't happen often in a game, actually. They're only going to happen 2 or 3 times in a game, that sort of scenario. But it could be costly. Yeah, and therefore, as a backup, he's perfect. To come on and see a game out, Luke Shaw, he's still got a role to play at Man United. But I think left back choice, first choice, would be a good move for Man United.
Yeah, okay. Let's get to Harry, a Manchester United fan who joins us this evening too. Harry, I know, likewise, just like the previous caller, you thought Mainoo stood out today.
I genuinely think he's world-class level now. I think you've had last season, obviously Amorim left him out, but since Carrick's come in, he's probably been one of the best midfielders in the league. And you've got to look, is Tuchel a clown for leaving him at home? Because how is he not in that England squad?
Well, I'm just going to bounce to the Chelsea game, because he was at the Chelsea game in the stands, and Carl Palmer drove from the halfway line, burst inside 3 players and smashed it in the corner. And the TV camera went to him because that was another massive error he made, not taking the quality that boy offers. And I think you're right about Manu. It was strange what happened to him out there. We haven't really had the full story of why he never got any minutes at all. So, as you said, he was very, very good today. And you're not the first person. We've had 3-4 callers already on saying how good he was. And let's hope he stays like that, because it'll be terrific for Man United. He's got the perfect manager, Michael Carrick, as the central midfield player. And you would have watched him 1,000 times. So you know his first moment, every time he touches the ball, it was into space. And therefore, he always looked like he had time. Brilliant. Manu's hopefully...
I know we'd never get rid of him or even put a price on him. But is he... Surely he's got to be the higher than Anderson fee, really, if you're looking at him. He's probably done a bit more than Anderson has in the league. He's playing for a bigger club. And you look at him now, he's thriving. And you don't know what United can do in the season as well. Is that steady?
Treble? What sort of treble are you talking about?
The real treble. The 99 treble.
Oh, goodness me. Well, your ambitions are high. There's nothing wrong with that. But
you're not talking about this season, are you, Harry?
Obviously. Carrick, well, we don't know how long we'll keep him. But I can see a treble. If you look at our fixtures in the Champions League, you're probably going to say we're going to finish top of the league phase.
Uh-huh. Hang on, Harry. I love it. I love the positivity, and every fan should be positive about their team. But you're suggesting you'll be even better than Arsenal.
Did you watch the game in the pub, Harry?
I'm on the way back from the ground right now. Not had a sip of a drink yet.
No, I'm only kidding. No, I think I genuinely think that United have a case for the top 4. I see that. I can't. I'll be very surprised if you won the league or a Champions League. An FA Cup, for sure. Every chance.
Harry, there's nothing wrong with being positive, and that's what every fan should feel going into a new season, certainly. And listen, after what happened against Hull, it was certainly a turnaround in performance.
Harry doesn't want us negative Nellies. He's roaring. He's ready to go. And when you win 5-2 at home, why not?
When everyone starts firing, like they did in that second half, of course you're going to be positive. I wonder if Barry is exactly the same. Does he think a treble could be on the cards this season? How are you doing, Barry?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you on.
Definitely not a treble this season. not a chance, no. But don't get me wrong, it looks positive for a top 4 finish again, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'd just like to raise a point. I think, like it's been said before, but fullbacks, we've got to get 2 new fullbacks. Dalot, he's steady, but he's nowhere near what Arsenal's fullbacks are, what Liverpool's have been in past. We're miles off it for us fullbacks. Left back, right back's got to be a priority for me. And then in terms of up top, he either sticks with Cunha, keep him up there, and that's how we play, or he sticks with Shesko and he gives him a run of games. He can't keep chucking him on for the last 20 minutes. He don't know whether he's coming or going, does he?
No, and you're right. And what I was saying earlier is, when you've got a young striker like that, at some point you've got to put him in and give him the confidence that he is a Man United number 9. So I think your point is valid. Be interesting to see when Michael pitches him in, because as you say, he needs a run of games, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd also like to reiterate the point about Manu. I thought he were absolutely tremendous today. I thought if it weren't for Bruno being as good as what he is, he'd have been man at match by a country mile. But Bruno's just on another level at the minute. And for me, he's best player in the world. For me, at the minute, he is the best player in the world. And he has been, he were last season as well. And that's why he got player at year in league, in best league in the world. But yeah, really positive. I didn't think first off we were that bad. I thought we were a bit slow, but we dominated it, didn't we? I know they probably had better at chances on break, but I didn't think we were that bad first half, and then second half they just showed their class, didn't they, and put them to bed.
Yeah, it's definitely second half. You upped the pace of the ball. Not so much, you were still doing the same amount of running, but you were so much quicker with a pass. and therefore you created many more opportunities and started to really kind of push Ipswich into making errors, etc., etc. And that's what happens. And Old Trafford is brilliant for that. When you get into when they get on a roll, the home team, it's like a steam train. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. Great performance, second half.
It certainly was. Barry, thank you very much for your call. So many people getting in touch about this.
But Barry's right about the fullbacks, because when you do look at the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, and then you count Chelsea as well, the fullback situation, they're probably the weakest team. And in the modern game, the 2 fullbacks are so important. I was at Spurs when for the Charlton League Cup game, and Porro come on, and he was only on for 20 minutes. Wow, he changed the game from right back. And that's how good fullbacks should be, really.
Wow,
at Man United.
That is the evolution of a wing-back, full-back these days, certainly.
Yeah.
Loads of you have been getting in touch about this Manchester United performance, some positive, some trying to be realistic, perhaps not Manchester United fans, of course. But this is what Craig has to say, who I'm obviously guessing just from the tone of your message, Craig. You're not a United fan, but he does sort of say, talking up Mainu, but why did you not start against Hull is one of the questions he asks. Does that mean Carrick is a clown? If Tuchel is a clown for not starting him or playing him at the World Cup? And he also goes on to say they beat Ipswich, they could win the league. But are they totally forgetting that they lost 2-0 at Hull last week?
Well, as I say, but that's what's great about football, isn't it? I always used to say when one of my teams got beat, more often than not, you got a game in 3 days' time to put it right. And you can change the whole feel of the club. If you're a boxer, you got to wait 6 months.
Yeah.
Or if you're going for a gold medal, you got to wait 4 years. In football, you got a game in 3 days' time, so you best bury that horrible game and look forward. And then suddenly everything's rosy in the garden, which it is with Michael this morning.
It's all about the here and now.
This evening, I should say.
Of course, it's all about the here and now. We don't talk about what happened last week. We focus on what's happened this week. Look, we would love to hear from more of you if you want to get in touch, Manchester United fans, and how you feel about your team after that comeback performance against Ipswich. Ipswich fans, likewise. How are you feeling about your season? Obviously, you picked up that first win against Sunderland last weekend, but now a heavy defeat to go back home to. Let us know your feelings as well. You're listening to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas.
Sky
all
Vegas.
Your favourite games, all in one place. It's 18 and over. Gabloet.org.
You said that if Chelsea sell Enzo Fernandez, then they'll need to replace him. I said I'm not as worried about that as some people are. You think that Chelsea will go back into the market, do you?
Yeah, I do, but not necessarily for one of the obvious candidates. As I say, I've done a bit of checking into Alex Scott's future this week. Bournemouth very confident of keeping him. They're not anticipating that Chelsea come back with a fresh offer. There's been no inquiry, despite reports to the contrary, for Adam Wharton to this point. One new name emerging overnight is Lamine Camara over at Monaco. It would probably only cost in the region of 50 to 60 million pounds. Young, up-and-coming player, fits the Blueco model, really. And obviously, if they were to sell Fernandes for 125 million and sign him for 60 million, then that is a decent profit.
I don't think it's urgent, and this is why. Chelsea are going to play only about 50 games this season. They're not in Europe, so they'll play League Cup, FA Cup and Premier League, but that's it. Reece James and Caicedo play in a system in which they will always play. Right, they will play. James is going to play in midfield.
He's always fit, Reece James, isn't he?
I'm just. He was fit last season for most of the season, apart from the World Cup.
Until we got to the World Cup, yeah.
He played for Chelsea for most of the season. I think, but one of the reasons he's playing in midfield is because of that reason, right? Because he can't go up and down and play like a wing back anymore. He certainly can't play at the demanding role that is going to be asked of the wing backs in the Xabi Alonso system. So playing him in the central midfield position makes sense, right? He played there last night, played there Monday night. Caicedo will play every game alongside him. If one of those two aren't there, Lavia will step in and play.
Always fit as well.
Henderson will step in and play. Barco, who played in there last night, was very good. He'll step in there and play. And even Jarell Harto has played in there as well.
A very good evening to you. This is the final words on talkSPORT. You're in the company of Alan Pardew and me, Natalie Sawyer, in for Madge and Grumpy Steve in Dorking. Is tonight's show a 3-hour Manchester United loving? There were other more important games played today. I promise you, Steve, we will get to them. I promise you. I'm not a Manchester United fan, so I don't need to be talking up Manchester United for 3 hours. But they are the last game that has featured this Sunday in the Premier League, hence why we've been focusing on them. And it was a terrific second half performance from them. So that's been the focus for us so far. Talking of which, it's, what time is it? 7:25. I think we've been late, haven't we, in getting Jill on. Jill, how are you?
Good evening there, Natalie and Pards. How are you doing?
Very well.
Hi, Jill.
Always lovely to hear you, Jill.
Well, I'm very happy. I'm not going to be miserable. I'm not going to talk about the past. I'm going to say, woohoo, 5-2. Thank you very much. After last week and watching that absolute guff, today I was a bit worried, I've got to say. In the first half, I was even more worried because Ipswich were giving us a game for sure, and we were terrible. And then we came out second half, and I thought, nah, there we go. You know, I thought we played great. Bruno was on fire. But I am worried a lot, about the back. Okay, I think we definitely need a centre-half. We need a left-back. And I've got to concede, Pars, and you've got to clip this and tell Madge because he won't believe I'm saying it. But Rashford, I've got to give it to him.
Oh.
I know.
You're going to change your opinion. Be careful.
I know he looked good today, but having said that, consistency, and let's see if he can keep doing it.
Yeah, that's
He's
it.
not a number 9. No,
It's the Jill challenge. It's the Jill challenge has gone down to Rashford. Okay, you did it for one game. Let's see a few more. That's what you're basically saying.
He's not a number 9 though, Pard. He's not a number 9. I agree with you. Cunha's a 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And the middle of the park, Mainu, he kept interfering. They kept playing the same ball, I think, and I'm a bit worried about the sort of connections in the midfield and the striker position. Like the guy said before, I think it was Max, was it? We've got a striker, okay? We've just got to play with what we've got, and we've got to be happy when we win. 5-2, man. Come on.
Absolutely. I want to know, Jill, the Maguire years, right? I say that, with slight tongue-in-cheek. He seems to have been there like 50 years, Maguire, and he's still playing, isn't he? I mean, he obviously gets the goal today. I mean, do you think he's going to play all season, Jill, or where do you see him?
Carrick likes Maguire. Carrick is a big fan of Maguire. So I think it's down to Michael Carrick. And I think if it's up to Maguire, he will pay. And I've got to give him kudos. For coming back from what he went through, Maguire, you've got to give it to him, really, I think.
Of course. I mean, he's come through some walls,
and if he's playing well enough, then he plays, Why not?
Okay. So Maguire's in all year for Jill. There you go.
And potentially Rashford too. If he carries on.
Well, jury's out.
I'm just saying, potentially.
Jill, lovely to hear from you, darling.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jill, for joining us. Let's get some reaction now, because we've been waiting for reaction from Old Trafford then. This is what Manchester United defender Luke Shaw then had to say on the club's objectives this season.
Yeah, we have to be. I think the objective has to be to win the Premier League. And that doesn't mean because of last week, the result, we can't do that. We still maintain the same focus, the same mentality, same belief that the squad that we have, and I'm sure there'll probably be a couple more additions to the squad, which of course is needed, to bolster the squad, make the squad stronger. But yeah, of course the belief stays the same. We believe that we can we can win the Premier League, and we have to have that mentality going into every game that we play.
Every team will have those sorts of ambitions. You've got to reach for the sky. You know, sky's the limit essentially for every team.
Head for the stars, you might land on the moon.
Nice.
Head for the moon, you can go in anywhere.
But the point is, I was going to ask you then, of course, Luke Shaw, Manchester United have a belief that they can potentially win the Premier League. Can they win the Premier League?
Well, depending on, I think, on the transfers that possibly could come in before Tuesday, and I'm talking about in and out. I think Xerxes' time is run there. I think him moving on would be a good thing because you don't want too many players in your squad. Now, I say that because they got Champions League, and you need obviously a big squad. But if you get like too many personnel, it's very, very difficult to kind of keep the spirit. And I think Michael Carrick's created a good spirit there. They all seem to be like pulling the right direction. And the problems we've had in the past, like I've been on this show like 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been. And the main criteria of Manchester United, what's the problem there? There's something going on in the dressing room. From Ronaldo, remember the Ronaldo comments about it's not right, the standards, blah, blah, blah. And then the Rashford and everything else going on. Garnacho, bad. Anyway. In this particular moment is about as unified as I've seen the dressing room. That would be fair to say, right? Mm-hmm. So they have got a chance if they can keep that. So I'm conscious that whoever goes in and out this window, that Michael keeps a very close eye on the temperature of the dressing room. That's really, really going to be important, that he keeps the temperature where it is right now, which is nice and stable, and everybody's getting on with each other.
Great win for Manchester United. We should obviously just remind everybody that Ipswich took the lead at Old Trafford. We were asking for Ipswich fans as well to let us know how they feel. And this message, no name on it, but says, Ipswich fan here, definitely can take positive from today. Yes, the scoreline doesn't reflect it and isn't a great reading, but compare the team now to the 24-25 side that got promoted. We are in a better place at the start of this season, and I wouldn't have expected a result at Manchester United anyway. And when you think about it, you're probably absolutely right. Where are they? 3 points on the board after that victory in the opening weekend. And you're probably right to say you might not have expected to get anything at Manchester United this season. So not a bad start, really, for Ipswich.
No, and in Gary O'Neill, they got a manager who's driven because he wants to prove himself as a Premier League manager.
Yeah.
And he's got experience, good experience. He knows the division. He knows the qualities. He knows the opposition. You get a lot of these foreign managers coming in, don't even know where the away team dressing room is, because they've never been to the stadium. Gary's been to the stadium, knows all the stadiums. He knows exactly the climate that's going to come his way when he walks into the building of, say, going to Spurs or going to Arsenal, etc. A great experience he's got, and that young team, Ipswich, are going to need to lean on him, and they're going to need a little bit of luck as well. They are borderline team in the Premier League because I don't think anyone's a definite candidate, as Hull have proven. There's no definite going down, but you can be in the ballpark, and they are in the ballpark.
I mean, you're probably right as well. Just very quickly on Gary O'Neill himself, he might look at this as a point to prove.
Oh, definitely.
When you consider, yes, he has had managerial experience. Of course, he has in the Premier League, but a lot of that has been coming midway through a season, or at some point, not at the start of a season necessarily. This is a chance for him to maybe show this is a team I'm building, and hopefully will not necessarily have to fight as many fires as people are predicting.
When you go in as a manager, and it hadn't happened to me often actually, it's nice to go in with the window open, where you can actually get a couple of transfers in that will make a difference to the team that you're inheriting. And Gary O'Neill, straight away with this boy and Cisco, has improved that team massively just with that one signing. With what they got, and obviously they've got a few new players coming in. But Ipswich have seen today the levels that they could easily have won at Man United today with that team. They could have. You can look at any cup game, you can win at Man United, but they didn't, and they are a ballpark team to go down. So they've got to be very, very careful and make sure that the next result is a positive one. Always important. Don't get into that early stream of defeats.
So we will, as Grumpy Steve alluded to a little bit earlier on, we're going to move on from Manchester United just for you and for everybody else listening, because of course there are plenty of other results for us to reflect upon, and that's what we're going to focus on. Brentford getting a draw at Leeds.
Spurs.
Absolutely. Tottenham yesterday as well. Sunderland getting their first win. Chelsea's
West Ham aren't Premier League, but I'm throwing them in as well.
I think we will talk about a little bit about West Ham. I was at the Watford-West Ham game yesterday, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well.
yeah.
Plenty for us to reflect upon, and you are more than welcome to join us if you want to have your say on the final word.
Emmanuel Petit joined the station yesterday and spoke on the difference that he could make to this Liverpool side.
On the left flank, this guy can make so many differences. And this is what missing as well with Liverpool, the speed, something that can be fast, running with the ball, that can not scare, of fighting against defenders. And this is exactly what they are missing at Liverpool. They have good players, but they need, modern football is based on the fast players, who can make this decision within a few seconds, can make differences, with the ball. And I don't think many players, at Liverpool actually for that.
Well, he's right, Gabby, isn't he? Oh. I mean, it's not all about pace, but I tell you what, nowadays, if you
pace kills, Ali.
Oh my
Come
goodness!
on.
Well, you know better than MD. You know better than MD, mate.
Pace kills, Ali, and Liverpool would be interesting how they set up now, Ali, with Barcola in the team, because they could half in certain games, Ali, sit back a little bit,
Yeah.
Bring the opposition out and Barcola on the counter. Ooh.
I agree with you. However, I think that'd be very, very difficult to do for any Liverpool side at Anfield.
Yes,
because I'm not
more
sure
away from home.
The fans just, and quite rightly, encourage them to go and attack, and have been used to that for years and years. So I hear what you're saying, but I think it'd be very difficult.
That threat though as well, Ali. Just having that pace. Like Sean says, it scares defenders.
Of course it does.
You're okay. Right side centre half's got to squeeze over and double up on Barcola. You can't leave him 1v1. He's ripping any defender in the Premier League 1v1. He's unstoppable, Ali. You can't be quick and tall and long strides and everything. He's a different animal.
Good evening. This is the final word here on talkSPORT. This is the show where you can have your say on your team, especially after the latest set of results in the Premier League. We've talked a fair bit already about Manchester United's 5-2 victory over Ipswich at Old Trafford. That was the 4:30 kickoff, but there were 3 2:00 kickoffs today in the Premier League. Just to run you through the results from those, it was a 7-goal thriller at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea survived a Brighton comeback as they won 4-3. Leeds scored a late equaliser against Brentford to earn a point then at Ellen Road, and Sunderland won their first game of the season as they beat Fulham by 1-0 at the Stadium of Light. We'll come to Chelsea and bring you reaction from Xavi Alonso after their second successive victory in the Premier League. But let's start, shall we? First of all, the Stadium of Light. Sunderland then getting over that defeat, as I mentioned, to Ipswich last weekend with that 1-0 win over Fulham. We know that Sunderland have an exciting season to look forward to with Europa League football to come as well. What do you think about the chances?
They're going to Milan.
Milan. I know.
Because the Geordies said you'll never see a Mackham in Milan. But now you will.
There you go. That's the comeback.
That's the song.
Go to Milan. I love that.
Well, there you go. They got a great win for them today. I see a comment earlier from one of our colleagues about Fulham and said they were really poor today in lots of aspects of the game. And they worry me, Fulham. Silva's been a good manager. He's kept that quite senior team, a lot of experience in that Fulham team. And Craven Cottage is going to be really, really important this year, I think, for the new manager. He needs to get a win soon because when he come in, I think a lot of people were a bit surprised at his appointment at Fulham. So he's got a bit to prove, and that is a disappointing, I wouldn't say result because it's difficult to win at Sunderland, as proven last year, but I think with the performance...
Yeah. When you look back, though, on what happened against Chelsea last week, they lost 3-2 at home, but were there not some positives to take from that? Because if it was a spirited display from them, and obviously some of the new signings.
But those spirited displays last year were victories.
Right.
So, that's my point. I actually thought whoever replaced Silva was going to be a difficult gig, actually. So he's got a difficult gig. And that team, when I look at it now, when I look at that squad and I look at the other teams in the Premier League, all have strengthened in lots and lots of areas, I think Fulham have got to do some business. And it'll be interesting to see if they do before Tuesday. But I think they do.
Okay, so you're a little bit worried for Fulham.
I think they're in the ballpark.
With Sunderland, and I know this is a narrative that's being pushed, but I'm going to ask you, the fact that they've got European football now as well, is that going to add... Is that going to be a hindrance, should I say?
Yeah. Any team that is not one of the the big, massive teams that have got squads of 30, 25, the big players in every position, 2 positions.
Yeah.
When you're Sunderland and you're carrying 3 or 4 young kids who great potential, but you don't really know what you're getting. You got to play them in the Europa League games. You got on the conference game. You got whatever team is in Europe, and that travel time. From Thursday night, let's say you finish at 11, you're on the plane at 1:30, you're back at the airport at 4 o'clock. You get up Friday, what are you going to do? You're just going to go in and have a sort of bath. Saturday, then Sunday you're playing. It's like a quick turnaround. Basically, you need to play your core players in both competitions. So those core players, really tough gig on them. And Newcastle have suffered 2 years ago under Eddie Howe, or was that last year? And I suffered when I was at Newcastle, suffered at West Ham too. It's a tough gig. That obviously the European games are easier than the Premier League games.
The standard.
Yeah. A lot easier.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean to say that you can put out a second string. You can't.
Well, as we said, though, first win on the board for Sunderland.
Great for them.
Second successive defeat for
Mackham's in Milan.
Fulham. They certainly
Shorties
are.
won't be happy.
I think that is their final Europa League game. No, it's not. I beg your pardon. Of course it's not. No. Because they do play Levski, as we would say in Bulgaria, Sofia. But I know in England it was Sofia. But Levski Sofia is their final
Which won't be an easy game, let me tell you that.
Oh,
but a great city, Sofia.
Well, I'm biased.
It's not your hometown, is it? Is it your? Was you born in Sofia?
No. I was born over here.
Oh, okay.
But it's where my family lives. So yes.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
Great city. So if you're a Sunderland fan, pencil that one in. It's an easy flight. Get through security very, very quickly. Beautiful city. Tough game.
Okay. Right. Anyway, moving on to Ellen Road, where, as I mentioned, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored a 79th minute equaliser to earn a point for Leeds against Brentford, with Kevin Schade giving the visitors the lead just before half-time. I saw a message from Scott, and I know my allegiances, but this is what he says. As a Leeds fan living in Staines, I have to say Brentford are one of the best teams I've seen at Ellen Road in a while, but they're missing a top striker or a finisher. Thought we showed fight and grit to get the point.
Got one of the best finishers in the
What
league.
I would say is we do have a good striker.
Got the best one. In fact,
based on stats.
In fact, he's one of my favourite professional footballers.
Thiago.
You know why?
Go on.
Because of the interview that he'd done on Sky. He'd done an interview on Sky Sports, and I thought, you are a lovely, lovely man.
He is, though. He is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he's a goal scorer as well, because goal scorers usually selfish, bit like, egoistic, not particularly, nice people, I would say. But he is a genuinely lovely person.
No, and he's very humble.
We're hoping for him. Did he play today, by the way?
Yes, he did.
He didn't score.
No, but Kevin Schade did, and he's got off to a great start this season. It has to be said. We talked about Mamadou Sangare as our summer signing, who has been brilliant and looked great yet again.
Yeah.
What I would say, as a Brentford fan, we didn't make our dominance count. 1-0 lead at half-time. We were fully deserving of that 1-0 lead. Definitely should have obviously been further ahead in that game to sort of secure it. And we kind of allowed Leeds back in. I do think we should have had a penalty.
I was going to say, you was tiptoeing. I wonder when you were going to get round to it.
Because I'm subtle with
going
it,
on
but I
and
get
on
there
there.
in the end. I
Yeah.
get there in the end.
Jeez.
I showed you that penalty. What
There's a
did you know?
definite penalty.
How? The referee is right there.
You got, and then you got the VAR.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, let's not tempt fate here, but VAR's been hardly mentioned.
Well, there's been a lot of this season. The onus is very much on the referee's call. I know that they've made that a very strong point that they want this season to be about. So they don't want the interference. But that, to me, was just an obvious penalty. I think it's Bogle. He stamps on Sharda's foot.
You know what I'd have done if I was in the VAR? I'd have gone, referee, it's VAR here. It's a definite penalty. I think you need to go back and have a look at this one.
Quite simple.
That's all he needed to do.
Quite simple. But that being said, credit to Leeds because they were on the back foot for a lot of that game and then worked their way into it. I sort of said that Brentford allowed them back in, but you could also give them the credit.
Leeds are a number of those teams whose temperature in the dressing room is just right. Manager settled in there now. You know, a lot of question marks about whether he was good enough for the Premier League. You could understand that Leeds fans might have been come calling for him after 8 games, etc., but they didn't. Stayed with him. Now he's sort of embedded in the city as an iconic kind of manager, and his team are great. I love watching Leeds. I think they're a good team to watch. Yeah.
Well, you can see they've really worked over the summer. They're well drilled.
Okay.
A little bit like my team, Brentford, I would say.
And Mash does a very good impression of him. Daniel Farke.
Does he?
Yeah. How do I say his name?
Farke.
Farke.
Yes. So that was the earlier results. Do we want to hear from Xabi Alonso now? Yeah, let's hear from Xabi Alonso.
We haven't even talked about Chelsea yet.
No, exactly.
Talk about them
they've got off to a cracking start, haven't they? When you consider the 2 victories that they have had so far, and I know, of course, Aston Villa and Arsenal still have to play this match week. That tomorrow night live on talkSPORT, but they are the top scorers so far in the division with 7 goals that they have scored. They put 4 past Brighton earlier on, and the superstars including Neto, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, all firing on all cylinders. So let's hear from the Chelsea boss, who you can imagine, Xabi Alonso, pretty happy after that victory.
The main feeling is happiness because we know each victory we need to enjoy it, but as well there are things that we need to read from the game. Things that is game 2 for us. For sure, it's not the product is not the final one. It's a development process. It's in an improvement process. Every game is going to be an experience for us, and the game has had different moments, very good ones, other ones that we can do better. And this is normal, knowing that we can do better, and we have done well, and we can do better.
Well, if they can do better, that might be a little bit ominous for everybody else, because as I say, especially up front, they are firing. They've scored 7 goals, as I've mentioned already, and we're seeing, as already alluded to a little bit earlier on, someone like a Cole Palmer, who was left out of the World Cup squad for England. It feels like he has had a refreshing summer. Because I know in previous starts to seasons, he's mentioned, bear in mind, the Euros of a couple of years ago, the Club World Cup of last year.
Where he was brilliant.
But he's talked about actually going into a new season feeling a little jaded.
Oh, he looks sharp as anything. So
it's a
much
real
sharper.
benefit to Chelsea that he wasn't involved with England.
Absolutely. And I just want to come on to Alonso because I think it's going to be a massive success. There's a lot of foreign managers in the Premier League, as we know, a lot of foreign owners, so therefore technical directors are foreign, managers are foreign, which obviously as an English coach got a bit of an issue about, but not Alonso, because he played his football here. He knows exactly what's to come. Mm-hmm. He knows what the credentials are to be a champion team in this country, and I think he's going to do really, really well at Chelsea. The signing of Martinez, the goalie, is inspired, right? That is going to be maybe the difference between them winning the league and not. That's how important I think he is. But just bear in mind, Chelsea fans, that the second worst goals against column is Chelsea with 5. Only Ipswich who've got 6.
That's true.
So when Alonso's saying we got a bit to work on, they have got a bit of work on. They look a little bit. Well, I wouldn't say. I don't think they got bad defenders, and I think their back 4 is okay. But they don't know each other yet. They ain't kind of settled down into what is going to be the in front of the goalie. And I think when he gets that right, Alonso, when he sees the in training the relationship between fullback, centre back, etc., he'll be wise enough to sort it out. Lacroix, is it from Palace?
Yes.
I think will be a massive signing for him, because when he first went to Palace, he was rash. And actually, when I've seen him in a Chelsea shirt, he's been rash again, because he isn't quite settled down yet. He's eager to please. And sometimes when you're centre-back, that is a really bad trait to have, actually, because you dive in, you go too tight, you make poor decisions. But he'll settle down, and trust me, Chelsea fans, you've got a great player there.
Well, look, we'll talk more about today's results in just a few minutes, but Chelsea fans, Fulham fans, Leeds, Brentford, Sunderland, and of course, I've said Fulham already, haven't I? Did I say Fulham? Fulham fans too.
Say it again.
I'll say it again. Anyone that was involved
today.
today.
How many Fulham fan there is? Me and Hugh Grant. Where's everybody else?
It's not bad company to be in, is it, the pair of you? You're all welcome to get involved. Let us know how you feel about today's performance, but also the early stage. And I'm very keen to stress it's early stages of this season, but do let us know how you're feeling about things going ahead. Are you worried? Are you excited? Why not get in touch here on The Final Word? You're tuning in to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. All your favourite
Vegas.
Every time it just confuses me when you say that. All your favourite games all in one place. It's 18 and over, gamblerware.org.
So he was shouting, apparently, Allez l'homme, go Olympique Marseille, which, of course, is like putting oil in water when it comes to Lyon fans. They absolutely detest Olympique Marseille, and they detest Guendouzi, and they showed that in their reaction. Simon, who's more at fault in these flashpoints, though? Ferreira, the goalkeeping coach, reacted in a big way, and that led to widespread scuffles. Is it the provocateur, who in this case is Guendouzi, or is it those who take the bait? In this case, the Lyon fans, the Lyon players, and the Lyon goalkeeping coach.
Well, there's degrees of responsibility and culpability, but Guendouzi is the fire starter. Guendouzi's behaviour, as it was when he played in this country and decided that he could run around a football pitch telling everyone how poor they were in comparison to him, which ultimately got him shipped out of Arsenal.
Who did he tell that how much?
Neil Maupay.
Neil Maupay of Brighton. Yeah.
And I think it was Wenger, wasn't it? Had just about enough of him and said, "Doubt."
It was Arteta.
Was it Arteta?
Yeah, he did enough of him.
Sorry, it was Arteta who binned him off. And here he goes again. Now, people are responsible for their own behaviour, so everybody is culpable, and everybody in terms of the professionals on the field, the players, and the support staff that have got involved should have a consequence for it.
Yeah.
But he should have the primary consequence, because without his provocation, without his antagonising nature, without his ridiculous over egging of the pudding and baiting and inflammatory, the fans are not professional footballers.
This is the final word. This is the show where you can have your say on your team's performance after the latest round of results. And right now, we're going to talk more about today's earlier results, and in particular, focus on the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland scored a 75th minute winner against Fulham to secure their first win of the season, a 1-0 victory it was. It does mean it's the second successive defeat for Fulham, that after their 3-2 home defeat to Chelsea last week. The question is, how worried are Fulham fans potentially about their season? Harvey, a Fulham fan, has been in touch and says he's worried about the season, judging by the performance today, I should say, especially the tactics and the pushing the fullbacks so high leaves us very exposed, so says Harvey. But Rocky, the Fulham fan, joins us on the line now. Rocky, how are you?
Fans everywhere.
I'm well, thank you.
Great to have you with us. Tell us how you feel about this season, bear in mind the changes that have happened at your club.
Yeah, I think, look, it's early days, obviously, but I think he's trying, obviously, a new system, and I think I don't know if we've got time to bed it in. We do need to get, obviously, another player or another two players in the window. Hopefully that can happen. Tony Khan said that we're going to obviously look at that. But I just worry about the fact that we played in the week. We played against Wimbledon, played really well. But Bassi was playing. Then he obviously has to play again. I think, we just need to be aware of the squad. I was really impressed with the youth lads, actually, in the League Cup. So that was really good.
The what, sorry? Say that again?
The youth
team players.
Okay.
I was really impressed with the young lads that came in on the wing. Really impressive. But I just do worry about the new system, and have we got the players at the back to do that?
Right, I've got a question for you, Rocky. Right, you ready?
And I know you, Pards, by the way.
Oh, do you? What?
Yeah, I've worked. I was part of Nas Bashir's little group when you were at Reading.
Oh, cool.
Coach. Yeah.
He's a top man, by the way.
He is a top man.
So, Rocky, here's my question. The manager, right, goes into Fulham. He brings two young players from Real Madrid, right? Two young players, very inexperienced. They both played today. They both started today, right? Garcia and Palacios. And on the bench, he had Smith-Rowe, Kevin, Session, Muniz, right? So my experience is telling me that those four players in particular were looking at these two Spanish boys going, hold on a minute. Why are they in front of me? So tell me, did you watch the game today?
Yeah.
How did they do? Because he's going to have to live and die if he's going to put them in front of them sort of boys.
I think I'm impressed with both of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then at the detriment of, like you just said, of those players that obviously are not coming in. So, it's going to be a balance. I don't know how he's going to balance it. And obviously the fullbacks pushing, like the last caller said, pushing up, getting caught at the back. Have we got the back line to sort of, do that with Robertson or Sessegnon, et cetera? Keeping everyone happy is going to be an issue, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, let's see.
Okay. Well, Rocky, thank you for calling in to have your say on your club. It's a hard one. I mean, I remember talking about it before the season started, the Thursday before the season started, and we were all sort of talking, and I was with Leanne Sanders and Ashley Williams, and all of us were sort of in agreement because of 9 new managers, lots of changes within squads. It's a really difficult season to call. I mean, Fulham, yes, it hasn't started well, but you only need one result
in the group.
Exactly,
I mean,
you only need one result to get clicking, and who knows?
Trust me, that decision he made today to play those two guys in front of those big hitters who have done well at Fulham.
Who were the 4 that you mentioned? Sorry,
Smith-Rowe, Kevin, Sessegnon, Muniz was all on the bench today. And who have done really well over the last 2 or 3 years, maybe a bit more than that in some of them cases, Sessegnon in particular. And when you're a manager, you've got to call that right. If you're bringing in young players, they've got to be better. And if they're not, then you're going to have a problem in the dressing room, or you ease them in. If you think they need a bit more experience or they're the boys for the future, you play the other boys and then you put them in hoping that they're going to be what you expect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to put them straight in like that is a bold move.
It is, and I get the unsettling part perhaps for some of those Fulham players, but equally for Arbeloa, he knows these two much better than he'll know those Fulham players.
Yeah, but when you say he knows them, he doesn't know them in first team games. They've only played it like 3 or 4
No.
first team games.
But he's got must have a relationship with them. Why else would he want to bring them?
Listen, the reason I'm questioning that, what you're just saying, is that because as a manager, a football manager, you get really close to young players, right? You do, and you really, really, really think they're special, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got great hopes for them, and you don't know exactly until you put them in, whether they can deal with it. And I can go back to loads of footballers who I've actually thought, wow, this guy's going to be so exciting, but never happened. And that the ones that you can you put them in, and you're like, I'll give you an example of Mark Noble. Put Mark Noble in. I was like, oh, he's 17. Oh, will he cut? Am I doing the right thing? Not a problem. Not a problem. Just delivered. So this doesn't mean to say that their age is a problem. What I'm saying is, if you're going to put them over senior players early on in the season, you better call that right. Hope he has. I mean, as I said, they've played okay today. Let's see how that progresses.
Well, Garcia in particular, he scored against Chelsea. He scored against AFC Wimbledon. So at least he's got up and running.
Yeah.
So there's been that influence already from him. But I do get your point. Obviously, it's always difficult when new players come in, and especially with a new manager as well. But it hasn't been this season so far. Early stages, we keep reiterating, for Fulham so far with the 2 straight losses. But their next game is Palace at home. And
what a game for both clubs.
I was going to say, Palace haven't really got...
Well, let me tell you, the temperature in Palace's dressing room is red hot. That is
I'd
not a
take
good
it that's red
temperature.
hot, that's not good.
That's not good.
Okay.
That's not be good because, and that's nothing to do with the manager, the new manager, nothing to do with him at all. The fact that he's got 3 or 4 players there who want to go before Tuesday night, and they got some big calls there, whether they're going to let them go. When I say let them go, do the deal for them to go to this other club and get a replacement in time. So there's a lot of pressure at Palace, particularly with the 2 results as well.
Yeah. Okay. On the way next, we are going to just park the football results and bring you the very latest transfer news, because Ben Jacobs is going to be with us next as the transfer window
Ben,
shuts.
Come on, you're getting here,
You've
Ben.
got your questions, haven't you?
Come on, Ben.
Be prepared. It's going to be a long section because Pards is going to fire everything at Ben Jacobs, and Ben Jacobs will just fire it back because he knows everything.
No, I'm not trying to pull
didn't say you were. Didn't say
pull his
you were.
shirt off his
No.
back. I'm just going to discuss with him some of my issues.
That's next here on The Final Word.
I've got to stop you there, right? Because I've heard this guff from you and Gabby today, all right? Going on about Spurs overspending, overpaying for players.
Whoa,
all right?
wait,
And I can't believe Crookie has got the cheek to come on here as a Man United fan and say that Belieber's a good deal at 70 million. He was guff last season. He didn't play.
I think you'll find Belieber at 70 million is going to be better value for money than Savinho at 85.
Oh, mate, you're talking absolute crap.
I'll have a little bet for you. Let's have a little bet. Who has the better season?
You signed Anthony for 75 million. You sold Pogba for £100 million.
What's going on here? Why are you two falling out?
No, but
hold on, what's going on?
Because I keep hearing Crookie go on like Man United are doing good deals.
What's happening here? Why are you two
and like
rowing?
Spurs are spending too much money on players. Like,
We'll
you're
have a
having a laugh.
forfeit at the end of the season, Jamie. Jason can judge at the end of the season. Whoever makes more impact for their club, Belieber or Savinho, the loser has to do a show. You do it in a United shirt. I'll
Hold
do
on,
it in a
Crookie.
shirt.
Savinho could score 25 goals this season and Cundy will still say Belieber's at it.
Belieber's going to be the better player. Belieber's going to be the better player.
It's a pointless bet.
No, he will be.
I'm just sick to death of seeing Crookie come on, going on like Spurs, just because we've got cash to spend, right? And we're throwing it about, right? And everyone's getting yumper about it.
Hold on.
You know what you are, Jamie?
What's
you know
going
what Tottenham
on?
are? You know when you're a kid and you get your first Saturday job, right? It could be at a supermarket, it could be in a restaurant, it could be in a bar, and you get your first pay packet and you spend it in 24 hours.
What's wrong with you two? Jay.
Windows.
We've all done it, mate. Went out and bought Bentley with my signing on.
Jay. Wait, there. Hold on. Calm down, you two.
What's your club or country's sliding doors moment? Its meaning originating from the 1998 rom-com of the same name, a sliding doors moment in football terms is simply a question of what might have been. An incident in a game where, had it gone the other way, would have altered history. For example, say John Terry had scored that penalty in Moscow in 2008. Chelsea would have been European champions and Avram Grant would have the biggest medal in continental club football to his name. It stands to reason then that he would have stayed at Stamford Bridge for a bit longer, meaning that Luis Felipe Scolari wouldn't have got a look in. Would he have done better than the World Cup winning Brazilian, who only lasted till February the following year? And could he have improved upon Chelsea's third place finish? And as for United, who won the title that season, would defeat in that Moscow final have led to Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the club for Real Madrid a year earlier? And would that have meant that Rafa Benitez's Liverpool won the Premier League instead of them? That's a pretty big butterfly effect, all from one missed penalty kick going the other way. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's plenty more that could have been affected. What if Anthony Knockaert had scored his penalty against Watford? We'd have been denied the Troy Deeney moment, sure, but might Leicester have gone on to win promotion to the Premier League earlier than scheduled? And would that have meant that Claudio Ranieri would never make it to the King Power? Would Arsenal or Tottenham, therefore, have been champions in 2016? The most significant sliding doors moment perhaps ever, though, was Paul Gascoigne, Wembley, June 1996. What if this had gone in? That golden goal would have sent England to the Euro 96 final against Czech Republic. 30 years of hurt could well have come to an end. There's so many of these moments that could have altered destiny forever. What if Shearer had signed for United? Would Lampard's ghost goal against Germany have kick-started England's World Cup back in 2010? What if Sam Allardyce didn't get bogged down in all that controversy and denied Gareth Southgate the England job? Does make you think.
Good evening. This is the final hour of The Final Word. You're in the company of me, Natalie Sawyer, in for Madge. And of course, it is Alan Pardew, Premier League legend, who is alongside me as well. Legend, as he has just said off mic. Look, we've already been talking about all the football results of today. We're going to hopefully hear from some Tottenham fans maybe a little bit later on as we talk about them and talk about West Ham, because I know you want to talk about that part. But before all of that, the transfer window, this summer window, shuts at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. talkSPORT is your home for every single deal. You can join Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent live from 4 o'clock for a special deadline day drive building up to the final hours of the window. Then, of course, as the clock ticks down, join Mr. Deadline Day himself. That is Jim White, who'll be alongside Chief Football Correspondent Alex Crook and former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy for a Deadline Day special, breaking down, analysing, dissecting all of the last-minute deals. And I think a certain Ben Jacobs is going to be very busy that night as well. Talking of which, how you doing, Ben? I'm surprised you're not out and about doing other stuff, getting loads of deals over the line for us in terms of news.
I'm multitasking, but not as much as Pards, who somehow managed to go on air with a mouthful of a chocolate swirl. I honestly thought you were going to ask him to say something when he had it full on in his mouth.
I am a professional. As you know, I can eat and talk at the same time.
I've got a question, actually. I always wondered this. Do managers ever snack in game? Do you ever have something in the dugout?
Not really, although there's a few times that you get cut short in terms of the toilet break. Had that happen a few times.
Oh.
Yeah. where you've possibly had a dodgy meal the night before or something.
Oh, no.
And then
Nobody needs to hear that at 10 past 8 this evening.
So there's that moment. The food-wise, no, you got all the snacks, spearmints and polos and stuff like that. It's usually stuff that you're not going to choke on.
Yeah.
Because usually you're shouting at the referee or something. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So that's your question, but I know, Alan, you've got loads of questions.
Do you want me to go my question?
I think you should. Get straight to it.
So my question is this overinflated transfer market that we're in at the moment. What do we need to get to break the record for a window? Because we surely going to get close, I think. I want to know your predictions as well for Tuesday. And then I'm going to come on to some numbers because I've been doing the numbers. People go, oh, he's not worth that amount of money, right? But you got to do the numbers. You got, they go because you can substantiate some transfers and others you can't. Correct?
Yeah.
And when a scouting team are looking at a player now, they wouldn't just look at the numbers. They'll look at his profile map. What does he do most? What's he poor at? Like, for example, they do this thing like a spider's web, where there's different sections of the spider's web is like shots on target, but defensive work, like Marcus Rashford's spider web, his defensive work would be a very low kind of mark. So when you do all those numbers, some of these transfers just do not add up. They really do not add up. So try and give me some sense that I'm not losing my mind here with some numbers of your own.
So explain the window, explain the finances, and make some predictions for deadline day.
That would be good.
Well, I think if we look at the deals, it's urgency, it's new domestic Premier League rules, which for some clubs like Tottenham give them more leeway to spend 85% of revenue because we've come out of PSR. And for those that are not...
Can I just say one thing? Can you just speak a little bit slower? No, I'm saying that honestly, because if I was listening to the radio, I think this is important. If I was a fan, I think it's really important what you're going to say. Because I think a lot of fans I speak to on the street, they can't quite work out why clubs can spend and why others can't.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, clarify it all.
Do that again.
It's sort of difficult without a little diagram, I suppose.
No, but
in layman's terms, I'll tell you. So those that are not in a UEFA cycle, and that is financial fair play, are not bound by this 70% number of your total revenue on transfer-related activity. So Tottenham, coming out of a season and a financial year with some European money, move into a cycle where they're only bound by the domestic rules.
Which is 85%.
Yes,
correct.
Because they've gone from PSR to basically having more rope to work with.
Right.
Now, where it gets complicated and you need the diagram is under these new rules, which are called squad cost ratio, it's 85% of your revenue on transfers, but you can go above that by 30%. And the reason why is everybody starts with this green line. It's actually known by the Premier League as the green line. That's 85%.
First I've heard of the green line, by the way.
Everybody else has a red line, which is 30% more. And because it's the first season and it's a transitional year, anyone that falls between 85% and 115%, that is not abiding by financial fair play, will not be punished unless they go above 115. Now, what happens is if you go from 85 to 90, then that red line in the following year goes from 115 to 110. And eventually, if you keep going over 85, your margin for when you get punished becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So Tottenham are able to exploit this first year or half summer, really. And they're also able to get through the final cycle of PSR because on that last financial year, they had Champions League money. So they've taken advantage of it. It's a bit different for Chelsea. Their spending is down to outgoings because even though they've got no European football, Chelsea are in a situation where they're still under review by UEFA, as are Aston Villa, because they agreed a settlement and some of their suspended punishments could ultimately become unsuspended. So each club is slightly different. Another reason is because we've had a scenario where you've got two-way business, and that's been very helpful. Then a bit more broadly away from the new financial.
What's two-way business? What do you mean by that?
So when a club like Chelsea and Aston Villa do two deals, they can both present a profit, such as Morgan Rogers, 117 million, and then Alejandro Garnacho going the other way. And in theory, you can circumvent the UEFA rules, which don't allow you to both get book profit from each individual deal if you do it within a 45-day window. If you can either argue this wasn't two-way business, we both just wanted the players, or if you leave a 45-day gap, then both clubs can declare what they bring in on their books individually. Whereas if you're in breach, then you have to take each transfer and deduct them and then use the net.
I don't know how you keep across it all.
Did that go above your head?
It always does.
I mean, that's the sort of
anything with
boring
finance
part of
goes
the chat.
above my head.
But our younger viewers who are now taking maths more than anything else,
Yes.
will get some of this. Very, very important. Okay, so that's why some clubs, there's a very long-winded but a very articulate, by the way, examination of that. Okay, so when we're going now to Tuesday, who's got room and who hasn't?
I think room for spending and in their squad, Tottenham, Manchester City, Chelsea, and possibly Manchester United. And of the newly promoted teams, Hull City and Ipswich. And the reason why the newly promoted teams are able to spend is because, again, even though when you come up, you're more restricted financially, they're not under that UEFA cycle. So suddenly they can spend 85% of revenue on transfers, and their revenue is going to, in terms of projections, increase on this financial year because they're, of course, Premier League clubs. For City, the spending is down to the fact that they've sold loads of players, including Savio, 85 million, Rodri for 76.5 million euros. For Chelsea, it's outgoings. That's how they're able to basically balance the books. They've got a fantastic record of selling surplus players. And then predictions, probably the thing that people will understand at least. Enzo Fernandez to Manchester City between now and deadline day, could go to deadline day. Cody Gakpo to Manchester City, as long as Liverpool find a...
Which I can't understand. I can't get my head around that transfer, but that's okay. I want you to carry on.
Iliman Ndiaye, we're waiting. So he has to agree terms with Tottenham. That could be done before deadline day.
That will be a massive signing, by the way.
But what I'm fascinated by is if it isn't formalised quickly, even though we've had no indication that Ndiaye has said no to Tottenham, and if Liverpool don't sign an attacker and it's only Barcola, do they block Cody Gakpo to Manchester City? And does City also turn to Iliman Ndiaye? And even Arsenal have looked. So that's kind of a domino.
I think Ndiaye could play for any of those clubs, by the way. I want to come to Everton because our producer's an Everton fan, and he's poorly today.
He's not in today's one.
We have the lovely Georgia, beautiful Georgia, who's here in the background doing our wonderful show. But the Everton fans are absolutely going ballistic about this young player who now it looks like they've done a major U-turn because of the feelings of the fans, and now Ndiaye is available. Is that connected in any way, do you think?
I think they were always going to sell Ndiaye because the player made it clear he's not going to sign a new deal.
Contract,
so you cash him for about 60 million and he will stay within the Premier League. Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia had tried earlier in the window. Harrison Armstrong will stay. And this is a little bit of a U-turn. David Moyes.
Because I'm guessing for Everton, Armstrong would have been all profit, the academy player. Right? So on their surplus, let's say you went for say 50 million, right? If you went for 50 million, that's surplus for Everton to buy. So I wonder strategically whether that was what they was thinking of doing, and then to bring a big player.
Yeah. I'd also think that the Friedkin group saw the fan backlash. David Moyes start him and said, okay, that's not going to happen. But before the game yesterday, he was off, and they'd written to Forest and said yes.
Wow.
After the game, it was no. And the ownership basically changed their mind. But also...
because this is very similar to Anderson from Newcastle to Forest, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Forest are very good at this, of spotting young players that they know the other club would give them pure profit to try and capitalise.
That they could double in valuation very quickly, so they have benefit the team, or you can sell them. But also what I think changed, which is very interesting, again, this could be a deadline day prediction or before, Jack Grealish. So when Everton were looking to bring in money, the feeling was Man City wanted a permanent exit because of his contractual situation. For Everton, a high wage, even though Grealish is prepared to make a concession on his Man City wage. Now they're advancing on a loan. And that makes a big difference with about 90% of wage coverage. And then thereafter, depending on what money they bring in and what happens in 2027, if they get him on loan, they can decide what they want to do from next summer. And that buys you a little bit of time.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a great deal for Manchester City because they'd rather sell him and get some, so I can understand why Man City are going to let that go to the wire, hoping that, at some point there'll be a bid for Jack and they can pursue.
I'll give you one more Everton thing quickly as well. Flo Balogun, keep an eye on that one. The Monaco striker, US men's national team international. Everton won the interested clubs, and that could go down to deadline day as well.
And what fee do we think he'll be?
It's hard to tell because Monaco desperately need to sell. And they've also got Lamine Camara. Chelsea are in talks there.
Yeah, the midfield
He's valued at somewhere between 45 and 55 million euros.
I think he'll go to Chelsea.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think he's good enough too.
Balogun might be in a similar ballpark, but again, Monaco need fire sales. They may present themselves as we don't want to lose these players. Kamara's playing now as we speak, which tells you that it's not a done deal at the time we're live, and yet Monaco need to bring in money and they're leaving it very late in the day.
Do you mind staying with us for a little bit longer? Because I'm sure there's lots for us to further talk about. I know you want to fire back with some of your stats, but let's do it after the break. Let's do it after the break.
We've got a break.
We've got to break. But we will continue our discussion because it's not long until this summer window shuts. That'll be on Tuesday when we'll bring you a deadline day show here on talkSPORT.
I wanted to ask you about Emi Martinez, who's also going to come into Chelsea as a goalkeeper. When you were told about this deal yesterday, you said good riddance. Why?
I didn't say that.
Didn't you not?
No, I didn't. I didn't say good riddance. No,
I think you did.
I said goodbye.
Did you?
Different to good riddance. No, listen, Emi Martinez has been fantastic for Aston Villa, but Aston Villa have been fantastic to Emi Martinez. When he joined from Arsenal, he was a nobody. Aston Villa turned him into...
He was an FA Cup winner when he joined.
Yeah, but... It's still a nobody, really, wasn't he? That's why he come to Aston Villa. Aston Villa turned him into the best goalkeeper in the world, and I just didn't like the way 3 years in a row he's been trying to leave every summer, which has upset some Villa fans. But when you look at his performances, his saves, everything about his style of play, even the negative stuff, the way he winds up opposition fan bases, Aston Villa fans have loved having him, and he'll go down as definitely a club legend.
It's interesting, isn't it? So I think there's different ways that people react when players leave football clubs. So I just wonder what the feeling is amongst those two fan bases about Emi Martinez going from Aston Villa to Chelsea. Do the Aston Villa fans really care about it anymore? They've got Suzuki now, so are they happy to move on? Are Aston Villa happy to move on from him? Yeah. And the same with Chelsea. Are they in a place where actually they're just comfortable to move on from Enzo?
He wasn't at his best last season, Emi Martinez.
Or at the World Cup.
At the World Cup wasn't at his best. 33 now. But I still think, Sam, that the £8.5 million, keepers play to an older age, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, have we sold ourselves a bit short with the fee?
33.
No, I don't think he is. He's not at his prime, but I still think we could have got a bit more money for him.
It is, just gone 20 past 8 this Sunday evening, and this is very much the final word that you're tuning into here on talkSPORT. You're in the company of Alan Pardew, Natalie Sawyer, and our very own Ben Jacobs is with us as we continue to talk about this transfer window that is coming to an end this Tuesday evening. And I know, Pardew, you've got something that you want to throw at, in a nice way when I say throw at you, Ben.
Well, he threw a chocolate swirl at me and I ate it during the break. So
enjoyed that.
I didn't throw it
That was a
at
nice
you. I
treat.
passed it to you.
It was a
in
nice
very
treat to
gentle
have
manner.
on the show.
No, because that's the sort of rumour that I get thrown about me. Oh yeah, Pardew nicked my dinner and stuff like that. That's,
Wait, who says that?
Well, I did get accused of stealing something. That's another story.
Okay.
Right.
Do you want to come to this, or should we leave that to the end?
No, do this now.
Okay,
because
go on
it
then.
will link Ben in nicely, right? So I was looking at the fees, right, and the names of players who have moved, and most of them I'm going to mention in this, right, are reserve team players. They're not even first team players. So I'm going to give you the stats, then I'm going to give you a stat at the end, right?
Okay.
So Savio, Tottenham, 85 million, correct?
Yes.
24 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists last year. Because you need to remember the goals and the assists, right? Tonali, right, obviously a first-team player. 35 appearances last year, no goals, 2 assists. Delap, 28 appearances. I thought it would be less than that. 1 goal, 1 assist, 50 million. Tonali was 100 million, by the way. Marmoush, 60 million with obligation to buy because it's a loan at the moment. 3 goals, 3 assists. Gakpo, right, 36 appearances last year. 7 goals, 5 assists. I think they had 60 games, so he was a bit of a reserve. I put Tell in here from Tottenham, right, because he's 30 million. The reason I put him in, because that free kick he hit last night, he deserves to go on this list. 31 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist. Nicholas Jackson moved to Aston Villa for 65 million, 23 appearances, 8 goals, 2 assists. Brendan Johnson, Crystal Palace, 35 million, 34 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. Garnacho, Aston Villa, 43 million, obligation to buy because he's a loan. 24 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists. I've got 1 left. Morgan Rogers, Chelsea, 117 million, 37 appearances, 10 goals, 7 assists. So that combined fee is £670 million. The appearances is 293. The goals column is 36, right? Now, as an example, I've got Harry Kane, who got 51 goals in 61 games last year, but in the Bundesliga, ironically, 31 games, he got 36 goals. So his 36 goals is the exact equivalent to £670 million paid this summer.
What a stat.
There you go.
That's not every single player.
No, of course. But
I mean, Rodgers is carrying a lot of that weight as well in your list.
He's got 10 of the goals of that list. So the point I'm making is that this model that Chelsea and now looks like Liverpool are taking, where they're buying young players, so young that actually you can keep their value, in fact, increase their value, in fact, by only playing them 4 or 5 games, because their age and their potential is still there. Whereas if you sign a 27-year-old, that potential and everything else is gone. And I'm worried about Liverpool, that they're moving down that road as well.
Yeah, it's about finding value in the market. And for example, Manchester United had this debate under Ruben Amorim last summer, where you either go Benjamin Sesko, not as proven, bigger fee, but you're going to get longevity and hope they grow into the price tag. And that reflects statistically. Or Ollie Watkins was the other option. And you'll know as a manager, if you're asking a manager that's under pressure...
Ollie Watkins.
And that's what Amorim said. But Christopher Vivell and Jason Wilcox said Benjamin Sesko. And in fairness, by the end of last season, same with Sene Lammens versus Emi Martinez, both players are showing Lammens quicker, but Sesko back end of last season what they're capable of. And what makes it difficult to judge is, even if you look at Savio, 1 goal for Man City, and people will definitely hammer him with that statistic, but scored on his debut for Tottenham
against Charlton.
Okay, but last season, people saying Johan Wissa, an older example, didn't do as well. Anthony Elanga didn't settle. They've got more goals and assists combined in the opening 2 games of this season than all of last season. And this is where some recruitment teams will say, we're going to be a little bit more patient because eventually we'll get the last laugh on the fee and we'll get the last laugh statistically.
Of course. And of course, you know, these numbers are also not they're not set in stone. They're not numbers that they've had previous years. They've obviously had better numbers in previous years, hence why they've got the moves to these clubs. But when you look at it like that, it really is kind of looking like an inflated market. There is no doubt about that.
It's an inflated market, Premier League to Premier League, and we've seen over 2 billion in spending, to answer a question that you first posed to me, and that's more than the 1.98 that was the previous number. So
are we over the record?
This is the Premier League spending, yeah. The previous record, I believe, was 1.98 billion, and now we've gone over the 2 billion mark, which is crazy. And yet...
Was that today we went over it? Or?
I think a few days ago. I believe it's about August the 16th.
Okay.
So what we see is Premier League to Premier League, huge inflation, because there's urgency, there's demand, and then you get these yardsticks. So now, if you're Liverpool and you don't really want to sell Cody Gakpo, but the player wants to go to Manchester City, Savio's gone from Man City to Spurs. City are the ones that got that number. So then when they negotiate for Gakpo, Liverpool are saying, it doesn't really matter what you think statistically of each individual player, but if Savio is 85, Gakpo's got to be more than Savio.
You can still say no.
However, what I would add
You can still say no.
What I would add, though, quickly is that when you then do the deals outside of Premier League to Premier League, we're not seeing the inflation. We're not even seeing the market value. Christian Romero, Atletico Madrid, Jed Spence to Inter, both of them way lower than the market valuation. And that shows you that we don't have a blanket inflation, but when we do Premier League to Premier League, it is very difficult to get value.
Yeah. And it amazes me that why look here? Why look in the Premier League? Why don't you look in the German league, in the Spanish league, and in the French league? I know when a Premier League comes, I know this personally, when you knock on their door and you're a Premier League team, of course the price is going to be inflated, but not as inflated as it is to take it off a rival.
I mean, I suppose Liverpool would argue that they looked outside for Bradley Barcola. They still have to pay a relative premium.
Yeah. Well, that was PSG.
That's Alvarez, similar story.
But you could argue the Brentford boy, for example,
Sangare.
There are players there. I mean, obviously he's only played 2 games, but there's a lot to come. But the point being that, I think there's also this problem we have with this academy type deals being done with young players. And that's what worries me about these last 2 days. I sense that there is one there where an Anderson, where someone's just near the limit, they can get a player for like 40 million, but they're going to have to supplement it by selling a young player for 30 million, for an example. So that's something to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, I think at the end of the window, the most underrated signings will fall on the cheaper end. Not just because there's less pressure or scrutiny on them, and then when they shine, people go, okay. But Chelsea, Danny Welbeck is one example. In my opinion, Diouf is a great signing for Brentford at a reasonable number, maybe 5 million more than they wanted to pay, but certainly not crazy. If you think about Manchester United, people will focus on where's this marquee signing viewed through the prism of they didn't get Elliot Anderson, they didn't get Mateus Fernandes, they didn't get Aurelien Tchouameni. And
didn't get Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, etc.
Most will say, okay, Yuri Tielemans, great value, great character, 35 million clause. But even Andre Santos at 50 million, a lot of people in Brazil tell me he could very quickly grow into the next Casemiro. And this is ultimately why you don't win windows, as Tottenham are finding so far. You win football matches.
For sure.
Well, Ben, there was plenty more that we could have talked about with you, but I'm afraid time has beaten us.
Well, I want Ben to stay.
Well,
but we've got to move
Ben
the show
can
on.
Stay there, and you can just talk to him every now and then. But I think Ben is going to be very busy, as he will be up until.
George has given me the evil eye.
I know, and I'm going to follow that soon because we need to take a break yet again. But I'm sure it's going to be a busy few days for you, Ben, as it will be for the rest of our transfer team as well. We'll have a dedicated deadline day for you across talkSPORT, so do not miss that. That is going to be exciting for sure. You're listening into the final word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas.
Sky Vegas.
Thank you. All of your favourite games all in one place. It's 18 and over. Gambleaware.org. On the way next, a bit of West Ham.
Oh, let's have a bit of. Oh, yeah. Transfer market. Come on, West Ham.
Danny Welbeck there, great start, but great career.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what?
Loving it, absolutely
I'm
loving
looking
it.
at it. He played for Manchester United, Arsenal, there's Chelsea, obviously Brighton.
Brilliant.
But I think everywhere, if he goes back to Arsenal, if he goes back to Man United, he gets a great reception.
It's good.
So he's one of them sort of guys who people just love watching him. And he's as I said before, I've spoke to a lot of people at Arsenal behind the scenes and whatever, and he says he's a great guy. He's really good for the dressing room areas as well, and that's why probably Chelsea have invested in him to help the young players out as well.
Speaking of Chelsea, this surprised me, and I think you, Ray, as well. Breaking news reached us late last night that Chelsea have agreed a £7.5 million deal to sign Villa's World Cup winning goalkeeper Martinez. $7.5 million.
Yeah, no, I thought I didn't see the dot. I thought it was 75 million.
What's going on here?
Well, they've signed a new keeper, haven't they, Villa? And he was number 2 at the moment. But they're getting an absolute blinding deal there.
That doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah, I think Chelsea have got a really good deal, and you need a good goalkeeper. You need someone who's been there and done it, and he's certainly plays for his country, and he's been brilliant at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So I think Chelsea, if you had a worry, if you're a Chelsea fan, it would be the goalkeeper. You know, watching that Fulham game, he made a couple of mistakes, and Martinez would probably go straight in, wouldn't he? Must do.
I think so.
Because he's experienced now, and he makes some vital saves for Villa. So, that for me, that's a really good deal for Chelsea's point of view. Oh, these are the kind of tunes you're going to be dancing to this week.
Tissue in my hand. Look how old I look. Look at my tissue. Wipe my eyes.
Mop up the old tears.
I've got a sty. That's what I'm mopping up.
I know you have, bless you. You're coping well with it. This is the final word here on talkSPORT. You're in the company of Alan Pardew and me, Natalie Sawyer, for Madge, and we're with you right until 9 o'clock this evening. We've spoken a lot about the transfer window, the results today from the Premier League, but we also want to look back on some of the other standout results and maybe performances of teams so far in this early part of the season. Only right that we should talk about one of your teams, West Ham, who drew 1-1 with Watford yesterday. It's actually a game I was at because it was our live game on talkSPORT 2. Why don't we bring in a West Ham fan first to get their view of what? Shall we do that? Does that make sense? Stuart, good evening to you. How are you doing? How are you?
How you doing, Pards?
Yeah, good, Stu.
I rung up because, Pards, when you left West Ham, and you're on my bucket list to have a beer with, because I always wanted to talk to you about this.
Go on.
So, I'm nothing bad. Don't worry. I just want to talk to you about when you left. I still don't understand why you left, but you made a statement afterwards and said you got unfinished business for West Ham, and I would.
I did make that statement. That's correct. I'll tell you why I made that statement, Stuart. But the reason meaning because the new ownership had only been there like 5-10 minutes. They didn't know me. They just got rid of me. They didn't want me. And I was aggrieved about that because I felt that I'd got them in a good position. And actually, the club probably wouldn't have been sold if we hadn't got back to the Premier League in the first place. So I kind of shot myself in the foot there, really, didn't I?
Yeah, but I when you said that, I've still never forgot that comment, and I would love to, like I said, have a beer with you and discuss that, because I think we need someone like you now, and that's what I was telling your guy on the phone. I don't think Nuno's the man. I think he was the downfall of a couple of bad results last season that actually sent us down, and I think we need someone like yourself to get us back up. But I don't suppose you'll leave talkSPORT to do that, would you?
Oh, I'd leave talkSPORT. Well, nothing could drag me away from talkSPORT. I mean, I'm so ingrained in this place.
Good, I'm glad you're...
Almost like a feature. No,
but of course, if West Ham came
but if
calling...
West Ham came calling, I could easily say the resignation letter would be flying at them. No, listen, what do you... The team at the minute, obviously, they haven't had the greatest of starts. I actually thought that they would start well, and that the rough patch would kick in a little bit later when some of the Premier League boys started thinking, oh, what am I doing in this league, Castellanos, for etc. It worries me where you are. And I've spoke to 2 or 3 West Ham fans who are good friends of mine, and they're concerned. And one of the things they mention a little bit, Stu, is... like Nuno gets a little bit negative when you get in front. Do you think that's fair comment about his management?
No, I was going to say exactly that. You know, everyone was going on about the World Cup with Tuchel doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what we've been watching since Nuno took over. I mean, there's so many games last season in the Premier League that we could have actually won, but he was just so... We'd go 1-0 up, and then he was just like, let's put another centre half on, another centre mid. Yeah. And it just didn't work. It doesn't work. I just don't understand the mentality. And then this season, I'm very worried about the back four, the goalkeeper. It's just, I know apparently we're going to sign some winger from Viking or whatever you want to call it. But we don't need wingers, Alan. No. We need defenders. We need proper defenders.
And the goal is a bit of an issue, isn't he? You know,
I just don't trust the goalkeeper. I just don't. Like Hermanson, the guy said on the commentary yesterday it was 6'5". He's 6'2", but he looks like when he lines up with Bowen, he looks like the same size as Bowen.
There's nothing worse than when your goalie looks too small, isn't it? You know, you had that feeling. Everyone's had that feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, you do have a sudden fear, don't you?
Yeah. I actually got promoted with one of the smallest keepers. Yeah,
you see?
Yeah, but so it can happen. Listen, Stu, keep the faith and up the hammers. That's I hope that before Tuesday we do some business. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do some business for the back four.
Yeah.
Just don't see what we're going to... like yesterday, the youngster, I can't even say his name, Colin Beckis, I think his name was.
Oh, he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
He's the best we've had. But
yeah.
We had a right back playing at left back, a centre half right back, and I don't understand. But the manager is a goalkeeper. So surely he can see...
He is. Yeah, ex-goalie, yeah.
Well, Stuart, appreciate you ringing in and giving us your thoughts then on West Ham. But he's absolutely right. Golan Beckis.
Stuart, if you negotiate a contract for me, I'm coming.
You never know. We're talking about going to West Ham, not for a drink with Stuart. Yeah, just checking.
Yeah.
But he
I don't mind having a drink with Stuart. I'll drink with anyone.
You wouldn't, but the contract you're talking about.
No, I wasn't.
I totally agree. Golan Beckis as one of the centre halves was brilliant. Actually, I thought Max Kilman did particularly well as well, considering he's had his critics during his time at West Ham.
Well, he should excel at that level.
Perhaps so.
Actually, the thing that West Ham probably need is the window to shut, because what you're not party to is what Nuno's got going on in that dressing room. You know, obviously there's a transfer yesterday. You know, a great player, the left back. I'm so disappointed he's gone, but you know, I can understand the value. You guys got a good player there, but you know, Bowen staying. There's definitely enough in that dressing room to get promoted. There's eight getting in the playoffs, so you got even extra room.
This is true, but you're absolutely right to point out the departures at West Ham, because when you add in Diouf, you've got, and I'm not saying every single player was a key player, but these are just the names that I'm going to read out to you. Obviously Fernandes, who went to Spurs. You had Somerville, Freddie Potts, obviously fans' favourite there. Adama Traore, okay, maybe didn't do brilliantly, but still another big name that's left. Callum Wilson, obviously. James Ward-Prowse is a recent departure. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Nicholas Fulkrug, Axel Disasi's loan came.
That's what happens when you get relegated.
Of course.
It's a car crash. It is a car crash. And unfortunately, there's, this jump we have between the Premier League and the Championship it's vast. It's too vast. They need to do something about that. We all know that. And the payments and blah, 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 and et cetera is not enough. So it is, yeah. We know we're getting a bomb, but he's still got enough. He's still got enough in the dressing room.
What I was going to ask you, though, is it not possible that there could be a relegation hangover? This was a team that January time.
Of course there's a hangover.
But in January, everyone was like, they're done, they're gone. And yet they took it to the final day of the season and only obviously lost out, as we know, from Tottenham getting the result that they needed to ensure that they stayed above West Ham. How hard is it to get over something like that?
Oh, you can't imagine now demoralising for a club the size of West Ham. If you park the playing staff for a moment, and the ticketing people and the stewards and the person who runs the canteen and the groundsman and everyone else, they are absolutely on the floor. They can't believe that club, the club they work at or have worked at for 15, 20 years, are now in the Championship again and having to battle through 46 games against teams that, with all due respect, are probably not bringing, the crowds, and the away game. The away games are intense, are difficult. It's a hard grind, and then you bring the playing staff back into that, and the coaching staff. They're all demoralised. They've all got to be picked up. You've kept the manager. Now you could argue, where's he? When you get relegated as a manager, it's a blow. I don't care. Like Nuno could tomorrow say, "Oh, I come in late," and da-da-da-da, and give himself excuses. But actually, underneath it, your core of you is like, "Wow, how did I not get him out of it?" So, yes, they've all got to get over that. And maybe the summer hasn't been enough. Maybe they have got a bit more of shedding to do, if you know what I mean.
Well, they haven't won as of yet. They've just got 2 points.
Hats off to my other old club, Charlton.
Yes.
3 wins.
Doing
Nathan, who's a strange fella on the sideline, jumping in the crowd and, he's massively involved in the game. He's almost like he's playing. But he's doing a great job. I mean, that hat off to you, Nath. Well done, mate.
Yeah, only team in the Championship with a 100% winning start, and they are, no surprise, top of the table. But what I'll also say with that West Ham, they did seem more improved, shall we say, from that Charlton defeat that they experienced last time out before going to Vicarage Road yesterday. Weather was terrible, as we all know. It was biblical proportions of rain that fell.
I'm going to just go back, right? I'm going to go back to something we talked about earlier, right? And that is, the performance level when you're in the Championship really isn't top criteria. You've got to win.
Okay.
You've got to win 26, 28 games. That's what you've got to win. And so far, they've played 3-1-0.
Yep, that is true. It's not been an easy start.
35 games now to win 26, 27 games.
Yeah, it's not easy for them. Their next game, though, is tomorrow night. No, Tuesday night, I should say. And that is at home to Wolves, which I believe is going to be live on talkSPORT too.
Wow, what a game. The Wolves are flying.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay, we are going to take a break. When we return, we're going to have to talk...
Sky Vegas? No.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of Tottenham, do you think? Do you want to talk Tottenham?
Tottenham?
Do you want to talk Tottenham?
Of course I've got to talk Tottenham, because Madge will be listening from, I don't know where he is, in some tiny corner of Ibiza.
Well, Madge, we'll be talking your club next. You're listening to The Final Word on talkSPORT with...
Sky Vegas.
There you go. All your favourite games, all in one place. It's 18 and over, gamblerware.org.
Gabby!
Jamie, what you on about,
the Villa.
You're just jealous, mate. I've been hearing you all day.
What are you on about?
You're talking guff, mate. Just because you're jealous.
What are you on about?
You're jealous.
How can you finish 17 2 years in a row and spend half a bill?
Because we got the cash, Gabs.
Yeah, but that ain't fair, mate.
See? Jealous.
It ain't fair, Cundy.
No, I agree. Do you know what? I agree with Gabby on this. I totally agree with him.
No.
This has got no. I'm not.
Win the Europa League,
I'm not picking.
And we can't flipping spend.
I'm not picking sides. I'm telling you now. Villa and Newcastle should be able to spend.
Cry me a river.
No, 100.
Cry me a river.
Jay, listen.
Thank you, Cundy.
I totally agree with him.
Gabs?
Totally agree with him.
Stop crying, mate.
Jamie.
Stop crying,
Totally
mate.
agree with him.
Stop crying.
Jamie.
Gabs.
You're signing rejects from Manchester City.
Good
Marmouche
players,
is
mate.
unwanted. Savino's a reject. Robertson's a reject from Liverpool, not wanted anymore.
Hold on.
Conor Gallagher's a reject from Atletico Madrid. Spurs are signing rejects.
Hold on a minute. You sold 5 of your best players. All right, you're absolute guff
of the
this
rules.
season. Oh, the rules! Oh, the rules! I thought you was a big club. I thought you was a big club.
Well, we are a big club, but
You're
the
not,
rules
though.
don't let us.
You're not, though.
Because you
Can't
and
spend
your
any money.
cartel, top 6, you and Cundy, don't want Villa in
Don't
there.
bring me into this. I've got nothing to do with this, Gabby.
Mate, keep you out of it. Only big boys allowed in the top 6, mate. You're not big. You have to sell your best players. We
How
don't
can
have
you
to sell our
finish
best players.
17th, right, and go and spend £500 million.
Because we're a big club, Gabs. Stop whinging.
Well, this is the final word. It is not a rave that you're tuning into. This is not my sort of thing at all. Is your song?
Yeah, I like this song. It's classic.
Okay. I don't even know it. Should I know it? Oh no, that
Georgia
shows
knows
my
it.
age. I haven't a clue who this is.
It
Then
was-
again, I don't do all the island hopping and all that malarkey.
I don't know who it is, but it's a great song.
Okay, all right. Well, you might be enjoying a bit of that. Who knows? Sometime soon. Cards. We have a little bit of time left in the show to talk about clearly one of the big stories from the Premier League, which is Tottenham, who have suffered yet another defeat. This time in their first home game of this season, they lost 2-0 to Newcastle, both of their goals coming in the second half. Before we talk about it, shall we hear from Roberto De Zerbi?
Let's do that.
Who has apologised to the Tottenham fans after yet another loss.
I'm sorry for the result. Very sorry for the result for them. We are working. I think I already show who I am as a coach, as a person. To become strong, to become top team is not enough to change the players on the paper. It's not enough to put the new players on the pitch. You have to become team. You have to play well with organization. We have to create the connection between the players. The new players, they have to adapt in a new environment, in a new club, in a new city, in a new stadium, a new teammates, a new dressing room, a new coach. So many things to become team.
Sounds as though he's got a bit of work to do then, if he's suggesting that there's so many factors to consider.
All the things he said there are correct. They're correct. That's what he's paid a huge salary to put that right. I mean, at the moment, I do feel for them a little bit because he's obviously got so many comings and goings at the minute, and he was a little bit unlucky that Savio, who did so well with Porro on the right hand side. I can see that right side of Tottenham coming good because they had 15 minutes against Charlton. It was like they'd played together for years. They were brilliant. Porro and Savio, that looks a real lovely combination. So I wouldn't be too disillusioned if I was a Spurs fan. Just a little hat off to Newcastle and their new manager. They were terrific yesterday. They defended really, really deep, but they had a real intent on the break. Wissa and Elanga have, had poor seasons last year in their first seasons at the club, grown into the shirt. And, sometimes when you lose big players, before you bring in your new players, it gives the opportunity for those who've, been on the sidelines a little bit to show their worth. Yeah. But they've got to show it, and they've done that. So hats off to them too. Brilliant performances and brilliant for Newcastle. I want to go and speak about, I'm going to get back to Tottenham, but I want to speak about Miley, right?
Yep.
Now, we're talking about transfer windows. So they've sold Tonali. Ask me a question. This is the question I want you to ask me. Who would you rather have, Tonali or Miley? Go on, Alan.
Who would you rather have, Tonali or Miley?
Miley.
Why?
All day long.
Why?
Because he's young, he's quick, he's got great technique, he's got great temperament. I think he is going to be around for the next 10 years. I think he's going to play for England. He was outstanding yesterday for a young player. So there you go. So Newcastle might have done some really, really good business. That's something that they might know in that camp. I'm sure Eddie Howe knows that. Maybe this mine is better than Tonali. Well, let's move Tonali on for 80 million, 100 million, and let the young lad have his feathers, have his wings. Anyway, let's go back to Spurs. He's got some great players on the staff. That roster, I've criticised their transfer windows the last 3 or 4 years. Me and Madge are like, he's suffering, and I'm saying your windows have been terrible. No ambition, never looked like you've had a window to go and win the league. This window, they have had an ambition to win the league, or certainly get in the Champions League, and I admire them for that. And they're not bursting the club, they're not bankrolling the club, so they're doing it within the levels that they're allowed. The manager, who I think is a good manager, by the way, will get that right. Spurs, they will come, and I think Jamie Redknapp last night, I'm very much in the Jamie Redknapp camp when he said, "Yeah, this Spurs team going to be good." I think they will be.
Well, I mean, I know it's you talk about levels, and obviously we know De Zerbi from his time at Brighton. He didn't win his first 5 games in charge at Brighton, but then, as we all know, what he went on to do was secure their highest ever Premier League finish. They're also their highest points total ever, as well as they secured European football with him as well. What I'm trying to say is, I know there might be a suggestion. I'm not saying in any way that after 5 games he's going to be gone if they haven't got results, but do you see that it will take time for De Zerbi and what he wants to impress upon his players? Bear in mind there may be newcomers coming in before Tuesday too.
Yeah,
that's just going to have to be a bit of patience.
Ndiaye, I mean, they should have street parties if they get Ndiaye over the line, because he's a better player than Marmoush. Now, the manager was raving, was very waxing lyrical about how good Marmoush is. Well, I like to see what he's going to say about Ndiaye if they get him over the line, because he is top player. I mean, massive blow for Everton to lose him, and it doesn't look like he's going to sign a deal. I mean, Tottenham, I think the manager, as you're working out there, has got plenty of time. This board can't change a manager
Of
again.
course,
So in a way, he's got a free hit anyway. He's got a great roster. When they all get fit and they're all pushing each other, and the great players are pushing the very, very good players, suddenly we're going to see a different Spurs. I think the second half of the season, we'll get a real kind of feel of how good this Tottenham team are going to be. Up until then, I think it will be a bit of a roller coaster. They're going to have some great games where they blow people away, but they're going to get beat as well.
It's just that new thing, isn't it? I mean, I can only judge them on what I saw against Brentford, because I wasn't able to see the game yesterday because I was travelling back from
I watched
Watford.
the game yesterday.
But they just looked so all over the place against Brentford. You could see the team that's well drilled, that's been well coached over the summer. Not to dismiss, obviously, what Roberto De Zerbi has done, but it just felt as though they've really worked on it at Brentford, whereas that's not the case with Tottenham.
Well,
and that's partly because we've done a lot of our business early. I know
and you've got an ingrained manager and ingrained system that that is easier to fit into. But Tell on the left hand side of the team is so predictable what he's going to do, and he's been poor in the 2 games that I've seen. That's a problem, that left hand side, and he needs to get that right. Whoever's going to be the player that plays that role. But Kudos come back yesterday. I think he's a terrific player. Marmoush, terrific player. But as you say, and Ndiaye might be in, Savio.
Yeah.
It's starting to look like a Champions League squad, whereas it's never looked like a Champions League. And we've still got Maddison to come back, who I still think is a key player for that team. I think he's still got a massive part to play. But who knows? We've still got 2 days of the window to go. Let's see how it all unfolds.
But I think
Poor
the
old
message
Everton
from
fans.
you is patience.
Well, no, it isn't patience. I think if you're a Spurs fan, I think the one thing that if Madge was sitting here now, what they really want is that home form to change.
I know.
It's just like they keep going there, and that beautiful stadium and suffering. So let's hope that the next, I don't even know what the next home game is. Hope they win it, though. Got it on there?
I have got their next home game. It will be at home to Everton. That's on September the 12th.
Wow, how ironic that could be if Ndailo's there.
There you go. Before that, though, they've got a trip to the City Ground to take on Forest on Saturday. Okay, that is it for us on the final word.
That's gone so quick.
It has. It's been an absolute
fantastic
pleasure.
Producer, fantastic presenter, easy
fantastic
run.
co-host who can do voiceovers, as we've heard. Tomorrow night,
Vegas.
we bring you live an exclusive commentary
I am
of Aston Villa against Arsenal. That one.